gear and let's go.
With the Strafe Esports app, follow your favorite teams and players, and you'll never miss a match again. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.
Oh, crap.
Exclusive Black Equalizer brightens dark scenes without overexposing bright areas. Use the S switch to quickly access the setting and switch between save modes.
I capture the pawn at E5.
You lose your queen.
Check. I think like a 40-year-old, and
Staszek, you could help in the kitchen instead of playing with that gizmo all the time.
she just won't let me play in peace.
TP-Link connects with passion.
They have no idea these are close. Looking for more. That's a third one coming in. Looking for the quad killer. Nearly gets it.
Stewie, yes, there's one headshot and there's another.
Getting two big headshots. Looking for more. Oh my god! And he's gonna go on DJ or the round of the weekend.
Taser.com, a competitive gaming platform. On Taser, you can find the toughest dudes in the galaxy.
I heard it's got all these great features for real gaming.
Yes, it has, Dan. Like a voice communication system, just post one to your friends. Introducing new Taser security system.
Wow, it's so lightweight. Feels like there's nothing inside.
Fan är det här?
Welcome back to the PGL Major here in Krakow. We're getting ready for our second map of the afternoon between Virtus Pro and North. Before we head there, though, why don't we check in with one of the players on North's team. Now, it says many times, and many people talk to me about, how do you get out of being angry? Being angry in game, not a good idea. It happens to a lot of people. It's also happened to one of our stars here in North. This is the story of Config.
As a child, I had a lot of problems, so I had to lose my anger somehow. I actually have no idea how the anger issues came. I went to boxing, I played soccer, I went to jiu-jitsu, but the only thing I could do to avoid the anger issues was being in my room all alone with the video game in front of me. Just enjoy myself without thinking about all the things in the world around me. I grew up in a small place called Esbjerg in Denmark, and the city is really good because I like the small cities and I really enjoy the nature around the city and walking with my dog around Esbjerg because I think it's the most beautiful place in the world.
I was a young guy when I got to Christian, so I was still passionate for games also, yeah.
I started playing Counter-Strike with my dad. He had a lot of co-workers and friends that played it, so I think it became a hobby through him.
We rented a small club. We was about 10 people, 15 people who was coming together there with our computers, and I took Christian one day with us.
I enjoyed playing the games with people older than me, and they also enjoyed playing the game and they had fun.
He just surfed around and just looked what we are playing. And it's not me who was learning him playing Counter-Strike, it was he. He was learning himself playing Counter-Strike by standing beside us and watch what to do.
I think that was the best day of my life because I just get to drink all the soda I want and I just get to play all night up.
Now he is a bit better than me. We are cut out of the same wood, as we say in Denmark.
I became a pro player when Dignitas wrote to me if I wanted to join them. And the first thing I did was run out to the kitchen and just yell at my parents like, I made it! I finally made it, now I'm gonna be a pro player. And I couldn't sleep that one night when they wrote to me that I should join them, but they wanted to send me a contract.
My son Christian is a team player, and he's a team player at home also. We feel, me and Marianne, my wife, that Christian is a part of our family when he's home. And he is also a part of our family when he's out to the tournaments. So he is a passionate guy.
I think the biggest interest I have is playing Counter-Strike, and someone next to it is just staying home with my girlfriend and just enjoying. I have my dog as well. I enjoy it very much, and I think that's probably the biggest interest I have, being with those two. I'm doing really good with Team North today, and I enjoy playing with every single one of them. I think we're more than a family than a team, so no matter what happens in the future with Team North, I think us five and our coach as well are going to stick together for a really long time.
As my colleague says, I'm the proudest father they are working with, because I'm talking a lot about Christian. It's a way to say I'm proud. I'm not that good to say it to Christian, but I'm good to say it to everyone else.
I respect all the players that are in Counter-Strike, even though it's a low level or high level. Every time you play someone, you still experience new things and you learn new things. I still enjoy playing them, and I still have respect for everyone who is trying to become the best player in the world or the best team in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's the second map here between North and Virtus Pro. Do we still have any Virtus Pro fans left in the crowd? I thought that might be the case. I've seen some Danish flags around the place.
Exactly. Do we have any North fans in the crowd?
Here are a couple of shouts there.
I see the Danish flag over there. All right. They're here. They're here. This is truly an international event.
Krakow, awesome to get here, awesome to be here. And of course, we are playing in one of the greatest arenas on Earth. This is going to be the second map in this quarterfinal, and we will see if Virtus Pro, who are on the edge of making it to the semis, they just need this map right here, right now, or if North are going to battle back and take us to Inferno to close things out here in this best of 3.
Let's see how this is going to unfold. Their chance are back. The rush is on towards the ramp, but Makis is there, taking one. A great shot from Config. AZ and Config again. What a start from North. Taz trying to battle it back with some great headshots, but it might not be enough any longer here. He's got the bomb, and he's in a 1 versus 3. This, it'd be a 1-on-5 clutch in a pistol round if he does it, so you can already tell the chances are very slim. He's got no smoke to try and get the plant down on B. You really need that. Almost impossible here. This is 1 in a million.
Exactly. So he's going to plant, not quite out in the open, trying to cover his back just a little bit. And now it's coming down to the decisions for him. All these doors are closed, and so they're going to make noise wherever he goes. It's going to be a bit of an alert. They might have been close enough to hear that. MSL and AZ wondering if the mind games are up, or is Taz about to pull off one of the master strokes of this tournament so far. Needs to hit the headshot versus MSL. The game is up, and he faces right into 2 players. Doesn't go his way this time, Taz, but at least he gets the bomb plant, which is a lot, given how that how that round started out.
They actually didn't have a kit picked up, so what if he get a bit more time? There was definitely a ridiculous chance that could have worked out, but what a start from North here at the second map. That's what they need, that's what they want. Obviously, you've had a bit of a time to cool down, so when you get back in, you win the pistol, you're playing the CT side of Nuke. You're expecting to go double digits here in the first half and more.
Exactly right, but VP have got a little something in store for us here, Anders. They aren't going to waste any time. They know just how important it is to try and stop North now, put a rocket in front of them and let them run right into it. They've got the AK bought up on Bialy, the force buy on the rest of them. Taz with the Deeg, and a decent nade count, so we have to see what's in store for us here. Pasha with the presence outside and yard, and this is one of VP's preferred strategies. Get that smoke wall down, get Pasha down secret as quickly as possible, but he's taking a lot of time here and a lot of damage.
Yeah. And running the full way means definitely someone will have heard it. Snacks must have also made his way down the vent, so a lot of presence here towards the lower bomb site. And obviously this is the unique feature of Nuke. If anyone is new and watching and doesn't recognize this map, the fact that the bomb sites are stacked on top of each other makes for such dynamic gameplay. MSL will take down Neo, so the Danes off to a better start this time. And MSL again taking down Pasha. Looking a lot better here. Bialy will get the 1 refrag there on Cajun B, but he's going to get dropped by Config. And see how this unfolds. They need to do some damage. This is the key to playing T-side Nuke. You want to every round get 2 kills or more. And there's the second. Taz taking down Config
as well, and so he is definitely shot to play the old guard between Taz, Neo, and then Pasha. Oh no, the bomb is denied. Last possible second, and so it's on Snacks. Doesn't look like MSL's going to fall for it either. He's got his teammate there to watch, but unfortunately for Snacks, he has no idea. Can't turn around in time to hit the shot, and MSL will be there to save it. But they do get the 2 kills. So is that enough? Without the bomb plant, though, and the force buy in that sort of situation, this is going to be a bit of a pain.
I mean, it all comes down to how this next round is also going to be playing out, because now they really only have Glocks, but if they could just sneak in 1 or 2 more kills in this upcoming round, then there's still some chance. It's all about keeping that CT side economy low. Traditionally, throughout the history of Counter-Strike, even going back further than Global Offensive, Danish teams have been very good at playing Nuke.
Yes.
They have a long history of that, and Virtus Pro will know that, so even though this is their map pick, it will be a battle for sure. We'll see if the Polish team can prevail and come back with rifles later on. Good, smart, falling back off the ramp. That's what you want to do. Megis not getting overrun just yet. Then a great lineup for Cajun B. Spraying down all 3, but Snacks has managed to sneak his way in through. The grenade does 94 damage, and he still gets the bomb plant.
As close as you can get. Everybody sacking themselves on ramp, and it's all to allow for Snacks to get the bomb plant. And so VP, they find success somehow in that hail of bullets. They make it work, and so we will get a decent buy here for Virtus Pro. I would be very surprised indeed to see the AWP out of them in this sort of situation when you've only got the 5,000. So it's looking like AKs across the board, full nades as well. And well, North, well, like this is just Cajun. Unfortunately, Config wasn't in position to put that MP9 to work. But still, solid hold here from Cajun. That is not easy to do. So let's see, Cajun has gone up to the AWP. It's the full buy for both teams. This is it, the big round for Virtus Pro. And Snacks, once again, similar to what we saw in the pistol, setting it up so that he can get down fence if he wants to fairly quickly here.
Oh, the rifles are back for VP, the chants are back as well. 3-0 for North right now, obviously putting a smile on their face now that you keep the focus here and make sure they continue to build the economy and drop Virtus Pro. Nice Molotov into the corner. It's very common that someone will be holding there, and that could have been a free kill to begin with. Again, they have Pasha, the Lone Ranger, sneaking towards the B bomb site, and just, this is going to be so frustrating for North, losing so much map control this early on.
Yeah, Pasha right now is doing a very systematic job. He's used all of his utility apart from a single flash, but he's cleared out so many angles here, all of the entries onto the B site. He's managed to pick up just using the Molotovs and the smokes, and that's drawn 2 players down there for North. But in the meantime, Neo catches Cajun peeking for info like clockwork, 50 seconds, about the time you want to try and peek if you're North. Cajun gets caught in the open, and that's going to cost him. Pasha nearly takes down Magis as well.
So a lot of damage being dished out. The bomb is still quite far back, so still deciding what to do. Magis taking a fight and winning against Pasha. That's a really big kill coming in now. The question is the distraction enough? Bialy's ready to crack over this bomb site, but he only gets the 1 kill, and MSL escapes back around the corner. It's still a 2-on-3 favoring North right now. Bomb will be planted, and Flashbang not able to capitalize on the fact that Snacks was blind, and he's going to get shot down by Magis, who's only got 13 health, leaving Taz in an impossible 1v3 triangle here. He's completely locked in.
It's going to be closing in. There's the man, Magis. Does he get impatient? I don't think so. He's so low on HP. He wants to stay alive to keep that money in play, keep that rifle in play, but he will get caught, or the shoulder peaks, and now they know where Taz is playing from, and he's going to get flanked. That was the key frag right there for Taz. Had he taken down Config, things might have been possible for him. Magis being so low, but instead, once again, it's not going to pan out.
It's very well done by North. They're hyper-focused right now. Losing that first map, obviously very painful, but they've kept their focus into the second map, the sign of a championship-winning team, and we'll see if they can continue. I mean, this is definitely not a team to be underestimated, and at this rate, CT side, keeping 3 people alive,
it's the name of the game. It's the name of the game. You can see that they are slowly but surely building economy over on North side. And so that's going to be the key thing here for them to maintain this lockdown, is the 4-0 situation. You want to have the money for all your anti-rush nades, and VP, they're the ones who are under pressure. They don't have much nades. They don't have many nades to work with right now. So a change of pace here from Virtus Pro. We haven't seen this yet, but multiple people out in the yard, and Cajun misses the shot, gets caught. Bialy capitalizes.
He definitely wasn't ready for that. Now the question is Magis going to be, because they're really fast here out in the yard. They've taken over all the control. He can't get back. He's actually locked in. He's going to win the fight against Neo. That was the only chance. Otherwise, he was going to get shot down by Bialy, who was coming in from the railing. So still a 4-on-4 here. But again, the yard control here for Virtus Pro is so important. So much of Nuke revolves around this outside area.
Absolutely creates all of the entries through hell, through locker room. Can wrap to ramp, and can get in through A main. And so right now VP, they've still got it, but they're looking to get in control elsewhere. Taz, MSL pushing aggressively. Taz is going to face him, but doesn't expect AZ to be there to back up his in-game leader. And now North have the man advantage. Virtus Pro not on a bomb site yet, but they still have time. 45 seconds left here, and Bialy wins the duel versus Magis, and there's the opening VP we're looking for.
It's looking a bit better in this round for the Polish side. If they can pick up their first round already, that would be very good news. Making the bomb down. They need that at some point. It seems like there's just a bit of a distraction being caused as Bialy's making his way back out. Pasha going down is not a good sign. Snacks, he's going to have to do a lot here. Clears out the first kill on the bomb site. Now it's a 2-on-2, and he's got the vent covered. Bialy's there as well. Somehow, they've solved the puzzle here. This is amazing.
Unbelievable. We're seeing more of that team play between the 2 players, and now they're going to stack it up. You're going to come through vents, you're going to be in for a pretty sad time. Snacks got the high ground advantage now. Bialy has to worry about overextending and opening himself up to Config. Config at A main is going to get the fake, and Bialy will lock it down. Quad kill for Bialy in the key round here at the beginning of the half. 4-1 is the score, and North, they will have the money to buy. But that was so well done from VP, just playing it slow and steady and finding the picks.
Oh, the analysts are going to be impressed by that round. It is not easy. There's so much information. Like once you win the battle in the ramp here, to try and figure out, okay, where are the remaining players? How do we get into position? How do we make sure we can win the 2 versus 3? That's so hard. Nuke is one of the hardest maps to play on the T side for this exact reason. So 4-1, yes. Money still in the hands of North, but Virtus Pro have an opening here to cause some real damage. Snax making his way down. Oh, trying. And getting stuck in the corner. And now he's down the vent, looking the wrong way and losing the fight to Config. Missed opportunity there.
It's a bit chaotic when you're missing that, when you're in the smoke and you can't see where you're going.
Yeah.
You'd think that it's like muscle memory by now, right? You know exactly how far you need to go to get in there, but sadly for him it doesn't work, and Magus with the off angle might capitalize here. He's going to spot them out at least. The Molotov is going to force Bialy in. He just barely makes it past. Bialy, you're on your own. You got to win the duel. And it's not going to happen. 2-man advantage now for North, with a minute left on the clock in this 6th round.
Just perfect timing on the Molotov there. And the smoke to cover it off. They're not giving many opportunities for Virtus Pro to bring it back, and now they've won the fight against Pasha and Mini. Leaves Taz hoping for a mistake. He wants someone to overcommit. He sees the feet, MSL, and that's almost a kill on Neo. Taz trying to help it out, but it's not enough. AZ will be the one to pick up the double. That's a huge win for North right now. This quarterfinals is coming alive now.
Yeah, and there we go. The tactical timeout getting called here for Virtus Pro. And it might be just a moment to try and breathe a little bit here, because the pressure might be catching up with them. The fact that, hey, we are up 1-0. This is our map. We're supposed to be the superior team here. North are good on Nuke, but this has got to be us. And right now it feels like they're missing some key duels. They're missing some key timings here. So it could be a good chance to just slow things down.
I just imagine if we end up on Mirage as well, what will happen there. Both teams adapted playing that map. It would be the dream scenario for anyone who's a fan of Counter-Strike if they could go to a 3rd map.
Well, they need to start waking up a little bit. Pasha has not had any joy right now. He's working on a secret agent.
Yeah, but they should have had some sort of huddle before going to this map saying, listen, we're starting on the T side, expect a rough ride, expect to get shut down a lot, don't worry about it. If we get even 3 or 4 rounds here, then we're solid. We've seen it in the past that people get more T rounds on the new version of Nuke, but at this level of play, absolutely possible for North to lock it down. So Snax trying to fight it in. He's got the bomb, and now AZ's got it.
They're going to the similar end to Eco as last time. This time it's Big East with the triple. Some of the best spray control in the game, and AZ will find a 2nd kill for himself. Oh yeah, you can MSL North is like, you can't run the same strat on us twice, guys. It's not how this works. Although Snax, he has been setting up the pattern. So North can start to wonder a little bit when that HE smoke combo comes down in front of Vents. This is what Snax is trying to do. He's trying to start to get them to guess. Am I going to go down it or not? Am I going to be there or not? Or I could be somewhere else on the map. So this is slow pattern building here on the side of VP's players. And now we have to see if it's actually going to work.
It is kind of a hard play for North to stop, though. I mean, apart from waiting in the vents downstairs, that's a good idea. But if you just try and spray through the smoke, that could end badly too. Config moving up at the edge, but Neo's going to somehow best him. That's essentially run and gun with the AK-47 from Neo, and he still picks up the kill. It's a bit ridiculous, and now he's looking for more. He's almost out of health, but AZ's down to 9 as well, and Snax is waiting with a knife. Oh no, oh no. We've seen this before.
Saw this. Blade versus Shoxy, and Snax not going to do it. Decides not to hold his ground.
Ends up getting dropped on Taz and Pasha coming back in. MSL with a kill on Taz, but that's the round for Virtus Pro. They crack open the B-bomb side, and in spite of Snax with a bit of a misstep there, it works out just fine.
That was Blade versus Shoxy on Nuke, and Shoxy, obviously when he got shanked, said something we can't repeat on stream. But anybody would be pissed in that situation if you got red like that.
We've already had far too many knife kills in this major.
Unbelievable.
Like 7 of them yesterday. Oh well, we might be able to continue here on Nuke. Again, Virtus Pro, AWP there, North, able to buy, but you can tell on the grenades that it's not exactly perfect, and Pasha gonna go for a quick peek in Squeak, trying to see if he can find a kill on anybody, but no one offering themselves up just yet.
Turns out Molotov's hurt. Fire, you don't want to hang around in it too long, but you can take the risk. And Pasha this time, it's not going to pay off for him. But we'll see if they play aggressive or not. AZ kind of dancing around. This is just the sit and wait strategy from VP. They brought a sandwich, they make a picnic, they take their time with it, right? You know, look at the sky a little bit and then decide, right, all right, time to go.
Look at the position from Cajun. He's so far back expecting a yard push. That's quite rare. And unlikely that Virtus Pro would check it if he ends up getting a target. Might be a lot of pressure here through Hut and Mini. AZ with the M4 making a bit of noise dropping down. I think they must have heard that. MSL trying to hold the Hut for a minute, but he goes down to 1. AZ picking up a great refrag there. Config helping out as well, but he can't get the flick, and Pasha with 2 kills. Leaving it up to Megis, get a 1-on-2.
Still possible here for Megis. It's on whether or not Pasha holds the line and if he trusts the line. And it looks like Pasha just gave up on it at the last second and he's looking for the long game, allowing Megis to work his way closer. Neo gonna put the smoke down to block things off. And they are playing this perfectly right now, Virtus Pro. The question is whether Neo tries to look through the smoke or not. Right through the edge, Megis realizes something might be amiss. But it's a 1v2 and he's out in the open, and Pasha, does he go for the peek or do they wait for him to tap the bomb? That would be the correct way to go about it. Just wait for Megis to commit himself and then peek at the same time simultaneously. Neo on the box, just barely saw him in time, and Neo hits the shot. No clutch for Megis, and Virtus Pro winning a 3rd crucial round here in the first half.
Oh, that was a way actually for Megis to win that because he had the Molotov. So if he gets the kill on Neo and guesses that the last player is Heaven, it's a minuscule chance that can work out. Oh, Pasha here doing all the work to open it up. North not excited about the result, 6-3, and now even worse, they're on pistols.
Yep, and this is end days if you are North at this point. There is a huge chance for Virtus Pro to start racking up rounds on the T side. They just need to be careful about overcommitting, and Taz, you're not supposed to kill your teammate, you're supposed to help him. 4-on-4. And unfortunately a team kill there to make things just a little bit easier here for North in this round. But Virtus Pro are also just sticking together, and I like this, staying together as a unit. Although MSL somehow finds a shot on Snacks.
It's going to be very frustrating. You need to make up their minds right now, Virtus Pro. Get onto a bomb site. You've got all the grenades. Just smoke out every position on that bomb site and get the bomb plant down. Not too much thinking now, because if they slow it down too much more, North are going to be able to find even more pickoffs. Config is going to get overrun by Bialy. And there are the smokes for all the entrances. This is exactly how you should play this round. AZ can't see. Oh, is there a gap? He's looking right at the edge. That smoke. That could be very dangerous, but it looks like he's not going to be able to spot out Bialy. Cajun goes down. MSL is snuck in behind and trying to rush down Bialy. He misses the opportunity. And AZ goes down. Virtus Pro winning a 4th round on the T side of Nuke.
Yeah, for a while there, though, you're feeling pretty anxious, I think, if you're Virtus Pro. That was a little bit close at ramp, but they took their time. They made use of their superior firepower and gear, which is exactly how you have to do it. And so 6-4, and in this key round, North are calling their first tactical timeout.
It might just be about time. They've got their backs to the wall now. There are so many problems that occur when you start not having that much money on the CT side, and one of them is evident. There's no AWP to control the R for KG&B. That's one big issue. The other one is the lack of Molotovs. They need them to buy time and block Virtus Pro off, and they only have 2 of them. That can definitely come back to haunt them.
Curious if they're going to try and rinse and repeat the aggression in yard, though. This VP, they have been setting up that wall of smokes. Config was nearly successful. Neil gave him the drive-by, but I mean, it could have been possible for them to have some pressure and some successful pressure out there.
Yeah, so either do that, but also, why not play on the stairwell for a bit? Have one guy cage in yard and then Config on the stairwell or something, just to try and see if you can sneak in a kill when they're behind that red container. Cajun is making his way out. Instead, it's a bit of a double stack towards the ramp, and it's Snacks trying to get in. Again, a bit confused. He's going to make it down the vent quick, and he is on 48 health, but he's got the control.
And one part of the puzzle is in place. His teammates are now clearing out yard towards Secret, so they'll be able to get down into the halls, and so they can start setting up those avenues onto the B site. Bialy taking point, and in the meantime, Neil holding passively at ramp, but it's Config who wins the duel versus Snacks, gets down the vents for free, and finds the opening frag here in this round.
That's such a big kill for Config. If he doesn't get that, who knows? And Patra goes down next. Config looking for the 3rd in the fight, but Taz will take him down in return, so a tiny window of opportunity here for Virtus Pro. They need to be quick now before North start to react and close in towards the B-bomb site. Neo's sneaking his way through. There's still 55 seconds, and there's a guy hiding on the side. Megisk also. Cajun coming in. He goes down to Taz. 2nd kill of the round for him. Now 3-on-3.
They're so good at slowing down the pace here, Virtus Pro. Megisk somehow gets caught by Neo. coming in through the ramp, and that was the key, that was the anchor for that B side for North. Now they have to get in here and fight. Easy, not gonna make it happen. And it was not quite, so it's doomed. Neo was waiting. And Virtus Pro chaining rounds, nearly tying it up. 4 rounds in a row. And North are gonna be back on pistols once again. This is the opportunity. You might have actually, Anders, you might have cursed him. You know, teams usually get more T-side rounds here, but anything is possible on the CT side. Virtus Pro heard you. They're like, you're right, Anders. Actually, you're right.
It's winning that economic game makes all the difference in the world when you're on the CT side. This could be a punishing first half now. Virtus Pro turn the tide. The crowd is once again behind them, and 12 rounds in here, they've got every chance to tie it up and make it 6-6 in the first half. That would be amazing. And North, this round is not good.
Well, Config doing a lot of damage, so that was good from him. But Snacks has now made it down into the vents, his usual abode. And in the meantime, there was a little bit of a peek for info from Magus over at ramp. And so slowly but surely, they're working their way through, but Config, he's not unscathed. And they're going back to ramp yet again. Magus once again with that angle, finds the headshot. Snacks roasts Config somehow. And so we're still with the man advantage here for Virtus Pro. It's combat at ramp, and the bomb has been dropped. Pasha, you need to bring it back. Snacks has to get over there to help him out. Eventually, Pasha will find the kill. 6-6. We're all tied up here in the first half on Nuke. Second match of this quarterfinal. VP is the lead 1-0. And now it is going to be the full buy for both teams, Anders. There is the AWP in play for Cajun, so the yard pressure can come back. And well, Pasha obviously holding on to his. 10,000 in the bank for Pasha.
That's a hard obstacle to overcome if you're on the north side. They need to win the next 3 rounds in a row. They did it just fine early in the game when they had the money. Now they have it again. We'll see what they could do here.
Cajun straight out into yard, straight out into garage, holding the angle. He got caught by Bialy last time he was out here, but he's holding a very passive angle way in back, misses his shot, but he gets the timing on Pasha, who's going for a nade. Free kill for Cajun.
It's almost unbelievable timing, isn't it? Now he's double scoped up there towards the silo. He really wants that second kill. Out in the yard, flashes in. That could have been one there. Neo picking up the AWP. That sound, Neo breaking the chant with an AWP kill on Config. Making it a 4 versus 3, still Virtus Pro, a man down, but now is where it really counts. If they break North in this round, it's going to unravel for the Danish team. I don't see how they can make it back and have a reasonable first half if they don't win this round. They've got the man advantage. The bomb is down on the B bottom side, but this fact that Bialy is up here in mini, waiting to backstab them is huge. We'll see if North are going to be able to expect this. They're all coming in from the ramp, trying for the retake. There are not many grenades. I've one flashbang here on Virtus Pro to buy time. And now here comes North, opening up, taking down Snacks. That's Cajun with a shot. Neo with one for the smoke, but he can't escape. And it's all on Bialy. They don't have grenades to block him off, but he has to face 3 people on the other side, and he's going to go down to Cajun B, finding a quad kill in the round. A huge round here for the Danish sniper to bring a 7th round on North's scoreboard.
What a sick retake from North. Instead of splitting up and giving Virtus Pro chances for individual one-on-one duels, every time somebody from VP peeks, he's peeking into 3 people. No chance at all. Neo got lucky through the smoke there with the angle. But North, they played that perfectly. A little bit of a stumble there because Virtus Pro are about to go for double AWP on T-side Nuke. Let's go, boys. That is not something you see every day.
No, but it makes perfect sense, given that they have the capability for it. They just need to lurk in a kill anywhere on the map, and North are going to be in trouble once again here. 7-6, this first half is electric right now. Snacks quick down with the AWP, trying to charge it and getting the kill on Config. Mother of God, what is happening? Pasha getting the kill on MSL. That's not how this weapon is supposed to work.
Aggro. We're getting some old aggressive op again. The shotgun might as well be. But a 2-man advantage just like that in the blink of an eye. Virtus Pro, they've got a huge lead. Mega's going to walk into the corner, right to his death has not caught sleeping. The headshot is there, and we're looking at another tied situation unless something magical can happen here for the Danes.
AZ sees it, but does he realize there's still a guy in lobby? He's going to get shot in the back by Neo. Very hard to play that. And Cajun might as well try and save the AWP into the 15th round here. And VirtusPro should do everything to hunt him. If they lose 4 rifles here trying to fight him, that's still perfectly valid. That's still a good idea. He's going to miss the shot, and Neo will take him down. Tying it up again. 7-7 as the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen, and moving into the 15th round.
Oh, man. The first shot was a Config or Magus that Snax catches unawares with the AWP. Because I'm pretty sure
Config,
that guy,
yes.
yeah, Config, he's holding here. No way does he expect Snax to have the op. He's like, I'll go toe-to-toe with your AK, no problem. But the op, there's a shock. The double AWP works perfectly. And we're going into the 15th round with a force buy for North, 7-7. The double AWP still in play here for VirtusPro, but North stretching themselves to get the best buy possible. 3 UMPs, few nades, and an opening kill for Pasha. Haven't seen that angle from MSL yet, but Pasha not caught off guard.
Winning all the fights right now. There is finally a push out of the stairwell there. That's Config with the UMP waiting. He's currently Molotov'd up. There's going to be another one, and it will force him back. He had to make a choice then, and he decided to fall off the angle. This is looking so good for VirtusPro.
Exactly the most effective flash, but they do get control of Trophy Room back.
The alley has at least gone down, but the weapons for North are looking miserable at the moment. VirtusPro, again, they've got some yard control, and they've got plenty of time here. Their T side has just been stunning. Now the crowd is here. Magus paying them no mind, getting a triple with the UMP. That's almost a miracle this late in the first half, and now Snax is in a 1 versus 4. Magus fighting VirtusPro and the crowd all at the same time, and coming out on top at least for this round. Snax is going to be going down. Hero play from Magus will give North an 8th round at the end of the first half here. It won't get any easier now for North, but they have a chance. They can still win this map. They can still bring it back to a 3rd one. So beyond Mirage.
No, absolutely right. On Mirage.
We've got the full wave going all around the arena here. Neo looking relaxed, almost casual at this point in time. He knows they've set themselves up very nicely if they can win this pistol with no kit once again here, so trying to see if they could just shut it down. But also on the other side, Magus with the Deagle trying to open up the yard. Very interesting. We'll see if it works out. It certainly does not. Snax going to pick up one and looking for more of a fight here against the second target, which is Config. If he gets both of them in the beginning, it's almost too much to handle here. He's just fighting out in the open, not afraid of anybody, and Config will take him down.
There it is. Kind of wondering where the teammates are, but then Bialy shows up from on high, gets the headshot on Config, revenge for his fallen mate. But Snax was just not taking any damage at all in those fights. Finally, he is laid low. Man advantage for VirtusPro, and the flank coming in from Pasha. MSL doesn't know what hit him, and Taz, he spots the rotation through ramp as well. Just barely makes it around the corner. Does he get the headshot too? No, Cajun is there to assassinate him.
And now we'll see, 2 versus 3, everything on the line here for North. They need to win this round, closing the door in the face of Pasha, and he almost wanted to knife it. Neo has gone down, and the bomb is planted. 2 versus 2, Bialy hot in pursuit, coming in from the ramp. He's not checking the angle, and actually Cajun has somehow managed to actually circumnavigate him, and it's Bialy with a kill, taking down one. Everything on AC here. VirtusPro looking for the pistol round. If they win it, that might just be the end. And AC looking for an opening. They're gonna bust in the doors and take him down. Bialy with a triple, and VirtusPro making it to 8. A huge round.
And again, the Fitting Thunder rolling in, bringing the hype with it. VP, that's the start that they needed here in the second half. And North, they find themselves in the same predicament as VirtusPro in the first. You got the bomb plant, do you play ballsy the way VP do and go for the force buy? Or do you trust in your strategies and save for the next one where you can afford to get the AKs? All right, just long-range duels all day long out in the yard. And yeah, you can see the frustration. AZ does a good job of containing it, but of course, Taz with the fist pump. They can see each other too.
I love it. Bialy shouting at them in the other booth. And now he's following up his trash talk with a couple of great kills there, shutting down North right off the bat. Neo going to be getting the kill on Magisk because, well, the bomb has been planted, so North would at least accomplish that much, but don't think they can hold on to it here. Cajun trying to take the fight, but AZ the last one left. Smoke is up, and with a Glock, yeah, there's pretty much no chance here. 9 rounds for Virtus.pro.
Good on Taz for picking up those kills as well. A lot of the kills going to SMGs. You want to boost that economy as quickly as possible if you're on BP side. Get as many nades to work with in the next round as possible, because this is going to be a very good buy now for North, because they get the second bomb plant. The second bomb plant. And so they get the bonus 800 and they get the buy. Not going to be an AWP, it looks like. Same situation as what happened with VP in the first half. Whereas Virtus.pro kind of want to see, well, that's all going to depend on positioning, but holding on to the MP9 could be just a little bit risky here.
And tactical timeout for Virtus.pro. They've already used one, and this was the second. 8 seconds left. Let's see what North can do with the AKs. They've got every chance of breaking it wide open here. They're playing against a UMP, an MP9, a Scout. If they were going to win a round here with rifles, is this one.
Every chance. And it's an interesting risk taken by Virtus.pro, and they could afford to get the rifles and fully put everything on the line, but instead they decide to play with fire, and we'll see if they get burned. They are in the lead, 9-8. And a full spread here as we see the setup, and the stars come out.
It's going to be the Molotov towards the upper railing inside of the A-bomb site, forcing anyone out of position. Doesn't seem like anyone's holding there, so that really won't help them out too much, but the door has been exploded, and Bialy gets overrun. Config with a big start. Neo only going to get the 1 kill. Config following it up, and also picking up the bomb as it towards the B-bomb site. They want the quick plant. The Molotovs are raining in towards the ramp. Look at Config. He's just a tank right now, rushing all the way through, controlling almost all of the map, and Magisk with the kill, leaving Pasha alone, and Config looking for the triple, trying to see if he can close the round down right now. What a power play coming out from the Danish side here. Pasha gonna get overrun, and North taking another round. That's so explosive.
MSL showing what he's been able to refine with his teammates here. They were preparing all last night for this match. They've had some chances to watch Virtus.pro, hell, even in this tournament play Nuke. And so they could actually put something together here to be prepared. And we're seeing the results now. It does result in a force buy coming in for Virtus.pro. They can actually still afford the 3 rifles, but it's going to be a shotgun on Pasha, the Swag 7, and the MP9 on Snacks. Very curious to see how North decided to play it once again here. In the yard, it's going to be a little bit of pressure. Config trying to get him to the top of Silo to get that AK in play as quickly as possible, and he will.
And very fast out of the yard here, as the scoreline is tied up, 9-9. Virtus.pro in a very similar position as to the one that North were facing in the first half. Out of money and not in a good position at all. Got to really keep the focus right now, or this can spiral out of control. Bialy picking up the first kill on MSL, and Snacks is raiding. This is pretty long range for an MP9. Not necessarily easy to get the kill, but all he needs is one little bit of a head there, and he gets the kill on Config. Now it's 4 versus 3. And this can work out.
Still plenty of time here for North, though, and that's the one thing that they have going for them. Virtus.pro made fantastic use of their time throughout the first half on the T side. When they had an edge or when they were playing from behind, they were looking for frags constantly. And right now, Taz not overcommitting. The flash goes in, and this is just to draw attention to lower, because he can trust a Bialy to watch his back. Bialy did it, nearly winning the second duel versus Magisk as well. The damage has been done. Magisk down to 10. Takes a tumble off of here. Will be his last.
He's going to wait, try and see if they get Cajun in. He gets the headshot, but look at the damage that's been done. A combined 19 health. How do you hope to win a round like this with 23 seconds left? Neo gets the kill on Cajun, and the follow-up double kill as Neo takes down the last two North players and Virtus.pro take the lead once again, just as they were about to be completely bankrupt.
And now we get into the back and forth because it's going to be the buy for North as well.
The Philip Krupski chance has returned.
Fairly even buy, actually, regarding both of these teams. Good nade count on MSL. He takes the hit with the Tech 9, but that's perfectly fine. If they decide to go ramp, he can be explosive through there, looking for the headshot on Taz. They will get that lobby control here in just a moment's time. Passive stuff so far from VP as well, just waiting and seeing where they're going to be coming from, but they have committed quite a few nades, and it's looking like the explosive play. No time wasted at all. Straight out onto the A side, and it's turned into a barbecue. Bialy and Neo having a field day. Config will pick up one and slow things down just a little bit, but it's a two-man advantage for Virtus.pro. And Neo still alive on the side, but he has nothing to worry about. His Guardian Angel is there from on high, laying death and destruction down. And Taz finally shows up to join the party. Virtus.pro, Bialy once again, talking the smack. That's right, this is our turf.
Absolutely shutting it down. And that was a force from North as well. They really were hoping that they could just catch the timing right, get on that A site. And that is one of those bomb sites where if you get the opening kill, the whole down, and then you can hide all over the place. So it's not such a bad idea, but they got completely shut down by the utility of Virtus.pro, all of those grenades, just killing them instantly. Now, Glocks and one P250 there. Not a lot for North to work with.
Oh, the flank here, Snacks. He is in danger of getting overwhelmed. However, Cajun in the corner will catch him, close the distance, but it doesn't matter. The aim punch is there. And they barely hang in there, but Snacks, that is, a perfect anti-eagle for Virtus.pro, keeping all five alive. And this is exactly what North wanted to avoid. Now you've got a 3-round lead for Virtus.pro, and they've got the money for a full buy if they lose this one. There is that cushion now where VP can feel somewhat secure. And so MSL, good time to do a little bit of talking here with his teammates and try and get their heads in the game. The pressure is on for North. They're at the limit now of losing control of this situation.
4 more rounds for Virtus.pro, and they're going to make, again, the semi-finals of a major tournament. Bialy has got 24 kills right now. He's trying to carry them all the way home here. North have got a chance with the AKs to try and see if they can make the breakthrough, but Virtus.pro, they look so focused right now. A level of focus we haven't seen out of them for just a very long time. Snacks getting the kill somehow on Config. He was surrounded. He should have been dead with no reply. Instead, it's a 4-on-4.
The luckiest of breaks and the quickest of reactions, and he is going to benefit from that. MSL now barreling through towards locker rooms, and he's got AZ watching from above on the railing, checking all the little sneaky spots that Pasha could be set up with that AWP if he was out in the yard. But Snacks was the only one, and Neil will be buying just a little bit more time here with that incendiary. Down to a minute left on the clock. And North, they do have a bit of an all-points kind of control going on here, outside in the yard at least.
50 seconds for the Danish side to set something up. You can see they're trying to be sneaky as they can out of the yard. It looks like they're gravitating towards the ramp position. Holding there is Pasha. He's going to pick up one, a second headshot as well. And this is one of the last chances for North. Taz boosted up in the corner. They walk into a huge trap. And now it's Cajun 1 versus 4 with no time. He might as well not try.
You can see a bit of a frown here. He's like, well, shake your head. What can you do? Bomb is dropped elsewhere. You won't have the money to rebuy an AK in the next round, so you might as well save this one. At least you can get a smoke and get full bot. But what a setup from VP. What a read. And just based on pressure from Snacks early on, throwing things out of whack for North. 13-9 now for Virtus.pro. And they are on the edge. They will have a solid round here. It will be on Cajun to come up with something big here for North if they want to have a chance, the Danes. Half by for the rest of his teammates, getting some smokes. And so we will have an execute coming out here from North, but we'll see just where they want to get out. If it's going to be on the A side rush once again with Cajun to bolster them.
Everyone waiting now with bated breath. 9-13, 4-round gap, and North look like a team that are slowly running out of ideas, and Virtus Pro look like just solid rocks at the moment. Every single round they're on point, and AK here on KGB that he saved from the previous round, some Tech-9s as well. And we'll see how this all plays out. They're rushing down towards the B-bomb side, looking for an opening. They're very quick in this round. On the Danish side, they can't take the long duels, Virtus Pro. Instead, maybe the change of pace here could make the difference. They got the grenades in already. Now, they just need that really quick bomb plant, put some pressure back on VP.
And there it is. They will get that guaranteed at least. A 5-on-5 retake about to happen in close quarters in the B side. Anything is possible. MSL is ready and waiting down there. We will have the flash going through, but he's got config to back him up. And that's exactly what they want. They have the Tech-9s. If you run at them close, those M4s aren't going to be as powerful.
Oh, Molotov down to clear out the bomb, making sure no one is there. Snacks picking up 1 kill at least, but they lose Bialy in the meantime. And now the retake is on here. It's gonna explode. Pasha looking for the kill, fighting close range. Snacks again with a shot, and it's all down to AZ and Cajun trying to hold it alive. Snacks finally goes down, and Taz just trying to hold the bomb. There's no time at all, and he's gonna be going down. Cajun with yet another quad kill to hold North in the tournament, to keep them alive.
That's what you expect from the veteran. Cajun, he is one of the players that leads his team along with MSL, coming in from Astralis into the roster. You can count on him. He has always been a destructive force in Danish CS. And it will be the timeout called here by North to reset and get a chance to breathe. But you can see the frustration clearly on VP's side, but that couldn't work any better for North, right? Close quarters with the pistols, trading effectively, and you had an AK in the fight as well. Ideal.
And finally, something that actually looked like decision-making from North, because there's been a lot of rounds where they've been sort of meandering around the map and taking aim fights with Virtus Pro and losing them.
Right.
This time was much more decisive. You need more out of that. They were doing it on Cobblestone too, even though they had a really rough time there. MSL sort of kept coming up with some pretty courageous calls, and they need to do that again. 10-13 here, 24th round is on the way. We're nearing the end, ladies and gentlemen. Virtus Pro are close, but North are clawing onto the map, trying to hold on to it. Cajun with 20 kills, trying to keep it alive, and at least North have a lot of utility in this round. Virtus Pro were able to buy. Let's see how this unfolds.
Yeah, this is the reality check for Virtus Pro. You could be thinking, right, we've got them on eco, this is it, boys, we've got this. All of a sudden, North are there to hip check him and say, not quite, we're not out of the fight yet. We do have a dangerous T-side if you give us the chance, if you give us the space. So VP, you can tell, just a little bit more passive in this round.
MSL taking just a lot of damage through the smoke. Oh, it's so close. Snacks. Random shots coming through. Pasha's taking a bit of damage in return, and he's going to miss the opportunity there with the AWP. Looked like maybe he could have done it. Snacks still hiding out here, and he's going to get the kill on Config again. The Dragon of Krakow back in action. 4 versus 5, and a couple of more kills, and it's going to spiral out of control. One more headshot to bring down MSL. It takes 3 men to drop Snacks out in that yard. Very frustrating for the Danes.
This is everything now for the Danes. If they lose this round, that's it. They're ecoing. They're going to have to go for the pistol force buy, and so it's all on Cajun now. Can he deliver once again? Looking for the headshot. Clever angle there from Bialy. Goes for the flash, and Bialy continues to challenge, and Bialy believes in himself that he will win that duel. Takes the fight, gets it, Neo as well, and Neo with the double to put them on 14 rounds for Virtus Pro. They are so close. Whereas North now, they thought they were closing the gap, but all of a sudden, it just stretched out into infinity.
You just have to take a moment to absorb all of the energy here at the arena. Long range, that second kill from Snacks, and yes, that opens up the whole round. It makes it so difficult for North to do anything, and they're back on pistols to try and stave off match point. They just have Deagles and Tech-9s here. Oh no, and there's the kill from Neo, taking down Megis. It is not looking good. They're trying to see if they can get down, but they're standing on top of the fire and getting shot through the smoke. And Bialy here to block them off with a smoke, waiting. Cajun goes down. Bialy again, he does it. A quad kill. Welcome to the Virtus Pro Apocalypse. They're 1 round away from making it to the semifinals.
The home turf. Definitely making the noise, and well, this is the last chance if you are North. The tactical timeout, desperation, and the pressure mounting when you just get slapped down with impunity by one player on the opposing team, taking risks and not caring. It's a shock to the system, and North now, they need to dig deep to find a way back. 5 rounds, it is possible. But this, we'll get the replay again. He was right on the edge of the smoke. The follow-up, this one is what's insane. Okay then, Bialy.
Doesn't overextend at all. He's just got that angle covered every single time.
And well, let's see, more of the same. Oh, wow, ramp rush this time. He's going to be grouping up at ramp, and Taz is going to be in a bit of a tight spot.
Hiding on the other side. Match and map point. And Meg's already getting shot down. They just can't find any luck running into the grenade as well. Taz gets one. He's going to get refragged immediately. 4 more kills. There's one of them. And now 3 on 4. And they're out of luck, out of time, out of rifles here on the north side. Virtus Pro. This is Counter-Strike royalty playing in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. They just need a bit more, and they will have made it through once again.
There's the information gain, though, because AZ takes down Snacks, and so Virtus Pro have one more angle to worry about. Still a 3-on-3, but the bomb is stuck in ramp, and they haven't made the leap down towards that lower site just yet. Waiting to see if somebody on VP is going to get impatient. Well, that works. Actually, there's the block. The first kill. Neo gets the second as well. The headshot on MSL, and AZ now 1v3, and it's going to happen. It is over. Virtus Pro goes to the semifinals here in the Krakow Arena. North tried their best, but it wasn't enough today. The spirit bomb was real. What a dream come true for VP.
Look at them now on that stage, their new outfits. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Virtus Pro. It doesn't end here. They're going to be facing Immortals in the semifinals. Of first Gambit are going to be facing Astralis. There's still a long road ahead. An unbelievable match and an unbelievable performance.
And I do believe we get to hear now from a man from the winning team. It is Taz. He had his moments, and Scoots is going to hear what he has to say now. So sick with the crowd. It throws you off. So much energy in this room. All right, over to you, Scoots.
Unbelievable. What a game it was. I think we do have Scott ready this time around, so please, Scoots, what a legendary game. Take it away for us, please.
All right, Taz, you've done it. First part of the mission in the arena completed. How's it feel?
Dziękujemy wszystkim! Really good feeling. It's a relief, man. It's a big relief. It was a tough draw, but it's just the beginning. Just like I told, this is the beginning. We won this trophy really bad.
Last time you won was on home soil. Same kind of thing. Crowd got behind you, pushed you through all your adversarial situations, all your rounds. Obviously, you're in soundproof booths, but you can feel the vibe. You can feel that energy. Are they your 6th man, as we would say?
They're always our 6th man. Always.
Not done yet. Next match, the Brazilians that no one expected to be here, Immortals. How are you feeling about that? How do you settle these guys back down to come back later on today and take on Immortals?
Oh, we expected them to be here. We expected them to be good. And we still remember when they beat us Gfinity. We still remember when they beat us in some events. So we are going for them.
All right, I'll let you get back to your team. Any final words, Taz, to your team and to your fans?
Dziękuję jeszcze raz, z głębi serca, jesteście zajebiści!
There you have it, Red Eye. Pretty happy Taz, pretty happy Polish crowd, I'd say. Back to you guys.
That might be the understatement of the year, Scott. Thanks very much for the interview with Taz. They are pretty happy down there in the arena, that's for sure. We're back with Natu and Sponge to wrap up on a brilliant quarter-final display by Virtus Pro. The plough is definitely back.
Yeah, before we get stuck too much into VP, let's start with North.
Shall we? Let's do that then.
I think North started really well. I think they were actually handling, maybe accidentally handling Snacks very well in the early stages because he was getting wrecked every time he wanted to go down the vent. That was kind of the key to the rest of the half of VP was getting Snacks down the vent, and that's where it all kind of started to spiral out of control for North. And I think even though it was an 8-7 half, it was still one that was very competitive. It was just could have been more so for North. They just they didn't know how to play with that rotation. They didn't know how to stop him from taking all that map control and getting all that info.
And then also VP picking up the pace towards halfway through that first half really did wonders for them. Snacks making his way through to the vents in the early first 30 seconds pretty much of each and every round. That's always going to draw a rotation from the CTs, and it gets really confusing for them too. And then the rest of the team was always roaming the map. They would be either on catwalk going for the upper bomb side, they take over ramps, and then it's super hard in those kind of situations where it's either 4 or 5 or even a 5-on-5 if you get the bomb down. We actually said that in the second half there was a situation where North won a 1 AK, 4 pistols kind of around. And when you get into a 5-on-5 afterburn situation on the lower bomb side, it's just very, very hard on a map like Nuke.
Has been an impressive performance by them through this tournament to get to the quarterfinals again, but again they've fallen short.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? We always talk about North, and we say that they have the potential to be a top 5 team in the world, but they always get to these hurdles. Other than Epicenter, which just seems like a lifetime ago now. Last year, they can never get past these bigger tests. And the crowd is definitely pumping VP up, but you have to look at it from the other side of things, right? It can be very intimidating. These players are still quite young. Cajun and MSL, they've been around for a long period of time. AZ's played in front of these crowds too, but Config and Magic, who are the 2 stars, it's not that they didn't perform. They were doing fine, I suppose. It's just it's still a different world for them. I still think they have a lot. When you look at the pedigree and the experience on VP in front of these crowds versus that of North, it's worlds apart, right?
But there's also teams that thrive on that challenge of playing in front of Immortal, the Spring Demand is a team that will love playing in front of this crowd because they want that challenge, whereas North, you kind of feel maybe not quite so hardened to that.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to feed off of it. I mean, that's what in even sports, teams say when you're playing in front of even a really hostile crowd, they feed off of that. They get that extra energy going. So yeah, it should definitely be a benefit for you, even if you're the away team. Doesn't matter.
Let's turn our attention to Virtus Pro as we take a look at the scoreboard by Boomio in just a moment. But I'm hearing that instead of that, we've got Taz waiting to join us. So why don't we do that first?
Hey.
Hello, Mr. Taz.
Hello. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're all good. How are you feeling right now?
Just like I said, I'm very relieved, but we are still like 1 game ahead of us, so not getting excited.
Okay, you're trying to keep it calm, keep it cool. Must be hard with that crowd behind you.
Man, it's like, it's a heart and soul for us, this crowd. And no matter where we are, we always know that we have great fans. And being here playing in front of this great home crowd is just heartwarming.
Yeah, I said on Twitter earlier that this crowd genuinely gives me goosebumps. I have no idea what it would be like to be Polish and playing in front of them. So can you just share that with us?
It's stressful, People think it's like you have all the support, and everyone is scared and stuff like that. Actually, there are like 15,000 people who expect you to win.
Sure.
So it's like
no pressure.
Thank you, guys. No pressure. So trust me, there is pressure from for us.
Yeah.
But this is pressure I love. This is the pressure I told you before that I feel like that's what we need. We need to be like on the brink of elimination. We need to be pressed a lot by other teams, by our fans, by everyone to actually perform at our best. So this is our best environment.
You've never really changed that, have you? I've always remember back some of the older tournaments in 1.6. It was always at the point where you had your backs to the wall that you suddenly played much better.
Yeah, I mean, when we played earlier, it was always our backs in the wall, The situation was totally different, but now it's like we underperformed for like 6 months. We played really poorly. We lost in group stage for like 3 events in a row. So this event is in Poland. This must be our event. There is no other way. I don't see it any other way. I cannot even imagine other way.
Yeah, written in the stars. Sponge and Yanko.
No, there are no stars.
There are no stars?
There's no Astralis.
I thought you were a star.
No.
Oh.
No.
I have a question. On Cobblestone, you and Neo especially, you guys look like you were in the zone. Was that just because you guys were prepared and ready for everything they had to throw at you? Because every strat they threw at you guys, you seem to be 1 step ahead on that CT side.
I mean, I messed up like 1 or 2 times there, so everyone took some mistakes, but of course, I mean, when I write something, I need to keep my promise. I need to stay with it, right? When I write on Twitter that we are going to win, I need to win, because if not, I'm going to get burned. So I'm extra motivated. I'm like in the zone, you know. But Neo is, you know, total different beast. You are still to see him in the total zone, and that's what's always fun for me. You know, we have like 5 great players, and there is always Neo just playing around a game, and you know that he can do this, and then he's like destroying everyone. There's never anyone close to his skill ceiling.
How much on Nuke, on T side, we saw Snacks going basically just respawning on vents every single round on the first half. How much of those rounds beforehand were planned, or did you guys kind of go by the feel of, you know, what kind of a setup the cities were throwing at you, and then you'd kind of fly from there?
It's a connection, you know. There is some plan. There's also a lot of thinking in the game. If Snacks feels that it's good to go into the events and do some interaction in their rotations, then do it. You know, we are just feeling the game, and how we feel the game, we are trying to adapt to what's other team doing. So you prepare a bit, you adapt a bit, and you have the recipe.
All right, good stuff. Well, you had the recipe today, that's for sure, and we hope it continues for you. We'll be back, of course, later on, so we're going to let you go and have a break right now. Good luck.
Just one last thing. Just wanted to say that Config is not a pussy, and he's a great competitor, and hearts out to North.
I think we know that banter is just friendly banter, Taz, but well done for saying it. Thank you very much, and well done in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Taz and VirtusPro through to the semi-finals in front of a hometown crowd, especially important as well for Snacks, being in is actually his hometown.
Just, you know, learn your lesson. Remember that you're fighting with, who you pick to fight with. In terms of config.
Oh no, it's all fun.
It's all fun and banter. It's all fun and banter.
But then again, you might have thought of it too much, you know.
Maybe. Your scoreboard by Boomio is on your screen right now. Bjarli stepping up in this one was the notable difference from the first map, and actually he's had a quiet tournament, so to see him come back and put some frags on the board was good.
Yeah, and he was. We even said when we were watching the game, he might have even been a little late to the action sometimes. You know, being kind of the flanker position in a lot of situations. But he was putting up the numbers when he needed to, even when they were man down in after plan situation. He'd always be catching the rotations off guard a lot of the time and getting very crucial kills in crucial situations for his team.
And from North, a final word on them. Obviously departing the tournament in the last 8 yet again.
They took
what do they do?
Well,
where do they go from here?
They took a strat from the T side of Nuke from Chiefs, who they lost to earlier in the year on Nuke. So they're scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
We brought that one up.
No, I'm joking. It was a pretty good strat. I really liked it. I tweeted about it. I didn't know it was a Chiefs strat. They all tweeted me and said it was theirs. So for the team as a whole, I think they just got to keep plugging. What else can you say unless they want to make a roster change?
Yeah,
anything's possible.
Yeah, is that possible with that deep pool of Danish talent?
Valde's out there. He's lurking around like a little shark, just ready and raring.
I mean, ready to come in and take
they have
someone's
the
spot,
stars, don't they? I don't think it's more just not overthink. I think they probably are kind of overthinking sometimes of how do we need to play the game, because they have both fundamentally sound way of approaching the executes, and they can time things well. But then they have the tools to just go really, really gung-ho as well, which I think sometimes they should maybe off to do a little more, just go kind of with the flow. So maybe invent something around that.
Okay. We're headed to a break right now. We've still got, of course, 2 more matches, 2 more series today, both best of 3 actions as we move into the semi-final. We are down to just 4 teams in contention for the PGL Major here in Krakow.
Coming up next, Gambit Esports versus Astralis.
Rise up and face the demon. Rise up and face your fear. Rise up and face the devil. Rise up.
Next matchup, casted by James and DDK.
Rise up and face your fear.
Work with the world's top pros to teach you how to take your game to the next level with constantly updated training content. When you're done watching and want a trainer warm up, just a few clicks will put you in your preferred training mods like Deathmatch. But why warm up for a match on Mirage by getting shot in the back on Dust 2? That's why we built Duels, real fights on real maps. 1 minute in Duels is like 20 rounds of real CS. Exclusively available on Boomio.com.
Grab your gear and let's go.
With the Strafe Esports app, follow your favorite teams and players, and you'll never miss a match again. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.
Oh, crap.
Exclusive Black Equalizer brightens dark scenes without overexposing bright areas. Use the S switch to quickly access the setting and switch between save modes.
I capture the pawn at e5.
You lose your queen.
Check. I think like a 40-year-old, and...
Staszek, you could help in the kitchen instead of playing with that gizmo all the time.
She just won't let me play in peace.
TP Link connects with passion.
They have no idea these are close. They're looking for more. That's a third one coming in. Looking for the quad kill and nearly gets it.
Stewie, yes, there's one headshot and there's another.
Getting two big headshots, looking for more. Oh my god! And he's gonna go on Team J or the round of the weekend.
Agent Broughton, we have a mission for you.
Someone from the inside set me up.
She's smarter than we thought.
I've lost the target.
This was never part of the plan?
It was part of mine.
Atomic Blonde. My God, I think I love you.
That's too bad.
Rated R.
Taser.com, a competitive gaming platform. On Taser, you can find the toughest dudes in the galaxy.
I heard it's got all these great features for real gaming.
Yes, it has, Dan. Like a voice communication system, just post one to your friends. Introducing new Taser security system.
Wow, it's so lightweight. Feels like there's nothing inside.
Far out of her.
So strong, where even our potato servers are hand-checked daily. Low variance. No packet drops. No jokes. All potatoes were harmed during the making of this ad. Go forth. Be strong.
Welcome everyone to the semi-finals of the PGL Major in Krakow. The Torn Arena is awaiting our next two teams that make it through into that arena, and they will be cheered to the rafters. We've also had a little bit of a change up here on our panel as we welcome back Fifth Lauren and Janko. Good afternoon, gents. Everything good?
I'm good.
Looking forward to the semi-final?
I am.
I'm great. I got to watch that for that quarterfinal from the arena, and
you did. I'm so envious.
Yeah, I mean the Polish fans. That's something, man.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to play in front of. They've also been very respectful. I love the fact that when we come to Poland, whether it's Katowice, Warsaw, or here, they're always very passionate about esports. They always support the other teams as well. Sure, they're going to shout loudest for Virtus Pro and make a noise for them, but they always shout for the other teams too. No more so than the fact we've got a class semi-final ahead of us between Gambit and Astralis.
Absolutely, and Gambit, you know, a bit under the radar throughout this tournament. Sure, they made it out in 3-0. I think there were a lot of people who would probably expect them to make the playoffs because they've been improving steadily ever since Zeus joined the team. Maybe not in a 3-0 fashion. Then against Fnatic, a very close series, ended up being 2-0. But Gambit is a team that, you know, structurally, fundamentally, can put up a fight against Astralis. They have good team play. They have a deep map pool. So that's what you need to have if you're going to have a chance against Astralis.
Yeah, Robin, looking forward to it?
Definitely. I mean, but keep in mind, this is also a very completely different beast compared to Fnatic. And that was my main worry for Gambit was, yeah, I think they're going to make it to the playoffs. But then that's when the best of 3 starts. And now we're up against I mean, you saw Astralis yesterday just completely on fire. Read SK like a book. And then coming into Gambit here, I think we're going to see somewhat kind of the same.
All right, we're going to get more from both of you in a minute and break down the teams in more detail. But first, let's introduce them both to the Torn Arena.
Leader Zeus is a legend in the CIS scene, having won numerous majors in CS 1.6, but a CSGO major has thus far eluded him. Following his dismissal from Na'Vi, the team he founded, the king of slow-paced CS is looking to bring his band of misfits to a deep finish. Youngsters Hobbit and Mao are steadied by the rock-solid consistency of Adrian. And this team is never one to be trifled with. Welcome on stage, Gambit Esports. Champions of the last major, Astralis have ruled the scene for much of 2017. Finishing in the top 4 of 7 events, denied the wins which would have defined an era by FaZe and SK. The major would be the perfect time for the return of the world-beating Astralis. Tactics rule the roost when they are on the server. Welcome on stage, Astralis.
Here we go then, headed into our first semi-final of the day as the players will get themselves settled. We're going to get into a bit more depth with our panel members once more. Janko, we'll start off with Gambit. It has been a terrific run from them. They said early on when they came to the group stages that they'd had an awful boot camp, an awful set of practice for the first 2 weeks before the major. Weren't sure that they were even going to win a few rounds at the first game, and here they are in the semi-finals. How does that happen?
It's a one game at a time type of a thing, right? No matter how maybe disheartened you are coming into the tournament because of practice results and so forth, once you actually get into the game, you know, you're fully focused, the adrenaline kicks in, and they had that good first game against Mousesports, and they didn't have an easy bracket. They defeated both G2 and Virtus Pro after that, relatively comfortable. So once you have that going for you, once your individuals start playing well like Adren did throughout the group stage, that the confidence just keeps building up, and you're thinking, okay, doesn't matter really what happened in practice, because things seem to be going on pretty well here at the actual major.
Yeah, that's always the main worry for practice as well, because you never really know what you're going to end up playing. Right. Yeah, you're going to run your strats, but who knows what your opponent's going to be doing, right? So, yeah, for me at least, practice should always be like, okay, this is the round we want to play coming into the tournament, so these are the rounds we want to play. Let's just make sure that we do them correctly. And then coming into the tournament, they might play differently, or this team might play differently than the teams that we played against, and that's I feel like that's what we saw here for Gambit as well. Everything has clicked for them so far in the groups, and then it does. I mean, obviously it helps as well when you have Adren just dropping bombs, and then for the first their game yesterday versus Fnatic as well, we have even Dosha was dropping 30 bombs on Inferno. Like, when does this happen?
Well, 2009.
Yeah.
13 a little bit.
I mean, some of them have rolled back their ears a little bit. I'll give you an interesting fact about them so far. At this major, all of them have positive KDR, which is not that usual. People say, oh, well, Astralis probably have, and SK haven't. Sure, but Gambit would not be one of those teams where you'd think that everyone would be positive. So they've obviously had a really good spread around the team as well. Been playing really well together as a team.
Yeah, I mean, the one person that comes to mind, and it's the same with when you look at North, for example, with MSL, and you have Susan there. Susan's not known to be a fragger. Susan's just supposed to be the mastermind and just to help your team win rounds. But when just the fact that even he has a plus KDR, right? Just, yeah, like I said, I just feel like this team, I just found a whole different kind of mentality and approach into this major. I feel like everything is working the way it should be. And it shows. I mean, they've been winning games.
The trouble is, they come up against the former champions in the semi-finals, and I think the majority of us would feel this is probably a stretch to imagine they can get past them. But if they are going to get past them, how is it going to be done?
I think it absolutely is a stretch. But as I said previously, I think Gambit has the ingredients necessary to take down Astralis. In theory, it's like Astralis is a better version of Gambit, basically. You know, so what Gambit needs in this matchup is their individual stepping up. You know, yes, there is structure. Yes, there is a map pool. They can play all of these maps, but it has to be Adren having a superstar performance. It has to be, you know, Mo being able, not even maybe to keep up with Device, but just not get destroyed by Device, because we saw what he did yesterday to Fallen. I mean, Device had an amazing series, really stepped up, almost 100 ADR across those two maps. So it has to be that, because you need to be aggressive against Astralis. We saw again yesterday what happens if you give them too much control. They're just so good, so well prepared, so well regimented that they will always have a way out.
Obviously they had the book on SK yesterday, Robin. They studied it well, they'd read it back to front, they'd read the forward and the index and everything else. A little bit different with Gambit. They still haven't played for over a year, and even then, I mean, it's Dust 2 and it's ESL 1, so there's nothing you can put back. You can only look back how they've played in this major so far to try and figure them out. Yeah,
but that's when the individual performance of Astralis comes back, right? When you look at it, SK and Astralis.
Bless you.
Sorry. SK and Astralis, I feel like that matchup is a little bit different, because that's one that you would have potentially seen in a semi-final or even a final, and there's so much more, like you're saying, detail for SK to go from. It does really help as well that Device has basically had Fallen as like the one guy that I'm going to learn things from. Yeah. So hence the dual matchup that you saw, I think was 17 versus 2-7 or something. Yeah. You don't have that here versus Gambit, right? But then when this stuff you practice, you pass on ESL 1 to prepare for this major, and that's what you're going to have to rely on.
Yeah. It's been put into question a few times, this whole passing of tournaments. Not the first time they've done it either. It's a mantle that they've had since the E-League, where they said, we're not going to play excessive amounts of lands. We're going to do one a month, and that's all we're going to do.
Yeah, I think it's great for them to stay adamant to that, because skipping ESL One Cologne isn't easy. We all know players love to play that tournament, a huge arena, huge crowd, same as here. So that's why they play in the end, for those big arena stadium games and in front of the crowd. But I think it's not as much the additional preparation that Astralis did that is giving them the advantage. I think that matters, yes, but I think the bigger thing is they played less games. By skipping that tournament, they, for example, if they played ESL One Cologne, they would probably be forced to play cash at some point. And they skipped it. That didn't happen. SK comes into the game. They have no idea what to expect from Astralis. And that's, I think, the greatest benefit that they've had from skipping ESL One.
Okay. Before we do more and talk more about the current reigning champions here, why don't we get the better words from one of the men inside the camp? Kiabi was talking to Sir Scoots a couple of days back.
Hello again, Scoots is here in the interview room, and this time I've got the youngest player still alive in the tournament. I got KRB from Astralis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Scoots.
So you're 19, but MajorS is only a couple months older than you, so you're both the young bucks still alive in the tournament, but very, very close. I mean, you are the defending champions, and you've actually been to several of the majors before this. So even though you're so young, it doesn't necessarily have any gauge on your skill set or your experience at majors. But how does it make you feel being that young and being in the limelight like this?
Yeah, it's not the same as a few years ago where I feel like I'm almost a veteran right now. I know that's a bit disrespectful because we have legends who are 30 now and must be feeling it's tough sometimes with the competition and playing so much for so many years. But yeah, I already feel really experienced, to be honest. This is my fourth major, and I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my career already, and it's definitely made me a more mature and a stronger player. So I'm just looking forward to the playoffs here and gonna enjoy every moment of it.
Now, you won the last major, E-League, right, in Atlanta. We're ranked #1 for quite a while. Everyone started talking about the Astralis era, because we've had these eras, right? And you lost your #1 ranking. SK is now the #1. I asked this question to Glaive when you guys were at your, the Clash for Cash, and I said, would you rather be #1 and have that prestige, but also have the target on your back, or would you rather not? And he was flat out like, nope, I'd rather be second, third, fourth, because once you're top 5, we all know how close we are skill-wise internally. And he'd rather not have the target on the back of the team to always beat, right? How do you feel about that?
I think I'm 50-50. There's pros and cons with both things. Right now we are ranked 3rd in the world, which takes some of the pressure from our shoulders, obviously, because we're playing the best team in the world in the quarterfinals, and we had a lot of close matchups against them, and to be honest, it can go either way. I think they will not underestimate us by any chance, and we'll just go in there and play our best. But there's also a huge prestige and pride in being the #1 team in the world, and that's something I strive for every day and we fight for. So obviously it was sad to SK to come in and ruin our era, so to say it, but we really want to win this tournament, and it's just one game at a time, and this for sure could be one of the greatest games ever.
And to that point of you guys really chunk of time off before this major, all the other big teams for the most part went to Cologne. They've been on the road a lot more, and you guys intentionally declined invites, stayed home to boot camp and do all those things. In retrospect, and you came in here a little shaky, that very first match of Immortals, shaking the rust off and went to overtime. You all still feel that was the right decision?
Yes. I think no matter the outcome, we will all think it's the right decision. We planned this months prior to the major to feel the way we can prepare the best for this huge tournament. So we had everything planned out, and it kind of went a little bit bad when we didn't qualify for the EPL, because that was the point where we couldn't participate at Cologne because we wouldn't have any time to practice. And we're here to do our best and come in our best shape to defend the title, and we're not going to come in with 50% with too many travel days, too many tournament matches. We'd rather be feeling confident in our strategies because we are a very tactical team. So yeah, that's the decision, and we're going to live with it.
And let's talk about sports psychologists for a while. A lot of press grabbed onto the fact that you had a sports psychologist with you, and teams are starting to do that. not necessarily the first, but I think the most prominent example of how it might have helped the team, because obviously she's been very helpful to you guys, and then you win the major. I saw her here, she is around. So what kind of things does she like help you with that you feel like talking about? Obviously it might be a lot of personal stuff as well, but like in day-to-day, like what has she done for you in that sense, you know?
Yeah, as you said, it can be personal stuff in your private life, what bothers you and stuff, but most of all, I think the most important thing about it is that we respect her. Whatever she gives to the team, her experience and everything in the meetings is just a bonus for us. It's just about having a person there you respect, to have like a forum where you can discuss things and
proper communication keeps everything smooth. Yeah, for sure. And she is here, so look out everybody else, because obviously when she was in Atlanta, y'all won.
Everyone is scared of her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you went 3-1 in the groups. One loss was to SK, who you are going to play again. That was on Inferno. We had a lot of Inferno during the group stage. So what are you guys taking away from that loss?
It was actually a really rough loss for us, because we feel like we didn't get in our comfort zone in that game. We lost 16-8, and Colsera had the game of his life almost. I know he has a lot of good games.
He has that a lot, doesn't he?
But it was a really good game from him, and we just went back to the hotel and like, you can't have that game every day. So yeah, we had to take the loss, and we came back strong the day after. So
now let's keep talking about him, because luck of the draw, if you will, gets you having to play those guys in the quarterfinal again. Obviously, best of 3, different kind of world than a best of 1. Any thoughts going into that one, other than it's going to be a crazy match?
Yeah, as you said, it's going to be a crazy match, but I think like best of 3 is the thing we want to play, also against SK, even though they're ranked better than us. Honestly, I think the favorites for the rest of the tournament is going to be the winner of that game. That's not a secret. So we're just going to go in there and play our hearts out, and after that there's no looking back.
Let's talk about the rest of your bracket, because you then, if you win that one, Gambit or Fnatic, right, is the rest of that bracket. So any ideas on how you think that will turn out?
I think Fnatic will win, but it's going to be a close game.
And then you beat Fnatic and you sit in the finals?
I hope so.
All right. And then
Virtus Pro.
I was going to say, so Big Immortal, North, Virtus Pro are those 2 bottom matches.
I think VP, it's like the last major. They always show up, no matter the form they have showed. Last time they also lost a rather easy tournament in China and came to the finals in the major. So they're gonna be fueled by the home crowd, and I'm pretty sure they will be in the finals here.
All right, so possible Astralis VP finals in there. Does that scare you at all? Because obviously the Polish fans love Counter-Strike, but they really love Virtus Pro.
I don't think it scares me. This is the day I live for. This is my profession, and I really enjoy playing in big stadiums, and I thrive under the pressure, I think.
All right. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to tell your fans? Anyone out there?
Just thanks for the fans for the daily support. We really appreciate it, and let's get a good major playoff.
All right. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
Can't be there with us. Scoots in the search for a double major win in 1 year, of course, completed by a very few amount of players, Fnatic players in the past, and of course SK Gaming last year as well. So they're trying really to secure it as an era, aren't they? We spoke about this throughout the group stage. They had the opportunity after winning E-League majors to then go on a run and dominate the scene, and it hasn't been that dominant overall because we've seen a number of other teams winning tournaments. But if they win this second major, do you then just say, well, 2017 was the year of Astralis?
Yeah, I think it's a very similar situation to what happened to SK last year, right? They won both majors, a couple of, a lot of top 2, top 4 finishes, but not as many titles that they would like. I think it's the same for Astralis, but obviously the major is always the most important. It was the rise of FaZe, the resurgence of SK that kind of denied Astralis that era title per se, but I'm sure that FaZe would trade in a heartbeat with Astralis all those grand finals and the title in Kiev if they could just be here at the big stage in Krakow.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, Robert, isn't it? We've had SK, who won 3 before we come into this and look red hot, have FaZe on a bit of a run over the summer as well. G2 have won a couple of big tournaments. Even Virtus Pro have won a tournament in amongst that lot, and yet all of them, I'm sure, would swap it for a place where Astralis are right now.
No, I mean, definitely the only one that you can say so about is VP.
Yeah. Are you okay?
There we go. Let's try again. No, but that was the gamble you took, right, with SK, for example, attending all these tournaments, whereas for Astralis ended up not to, and then that was like, which way is better? Because then you get the tournament experience, you get, okay, everything's working, or you're just like, we have no idea really how we're going to play coming into this tournament.
But that's the thing with SK, isn't it? They have had, and I know, as Fallen said, coming into this tournament, they felt a bit burnt out, and they didn't seem that burnt out in the group stages, but that's got to have played on their mind when they play Astralis, and Astralis are fresh and hungry, and they want that second title.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is the amount of preparation Astralis could do based off of how many games SK has simply played, in the last month or so. I think SK has played the most map out of all teams on LAN in the past 3 months, and those have been some very, very high-level tournaments, so no opportunity for you to hide stuff, right? And because of how frequent the tournaments were, you don't really have that much time in between to change things. So for SK, it's generally difficult to anti-strat them because they just do such a good job of adjusting. But the thing is, the way Astralis prepares for opponents, they don't look at like your executes, they look at your tendencies, your rotations, your movements, like your preferred spots, and then they have that in the back of their mind, just running their own playstyle.
Phone's collected in the background. Been doing his job, getting rid of all of those out of the back. These players are just starting to gather, so heading towards the map vetoes. Before we talk about that, though, I just want to get key players on both sides. For those that are fresh and new to the Major, we get a lot of new people watch these shows. Pick out one player on each side that they should watch for.
Okay, so for the new guys coming in to watch for Gambit, it would have to be Adren and Hobbit, right? Those are the two stars and the guys who rack up the most kills. But I think for Gambit in this best of 3, the most important player is going to be Mo, because he is the kind of single, at least primary opera of the team, and we saw how good Device was yesterday. He's going to have to at least, put a stop to him to an extent.
Robin, on the other side, Astralis?
It has to be Device. I mean, there's no say about it. I just love the way he plays.
He's great to watch, isn't he?
He's just so fun to watch. I think he barely ever has a bad game. It doesn't really matter. And then the second one for me is gonna have to be Kirby. I feel like yesterday he wasn't playing bad by any means, but when this team was first formed, Kirby was supposed to be that sort of player. When Device, this was 2 years ago now. Hence the psychologists they have now, but Device tended to not really perform in playoffs.
It's okay, you can say tilt. It's fine. Yeah, no, he did.
No, tilt.
I think he admitted that himself.
There were no chokers, but that's definitely gone by now, right? But then Kirby came in to be this kind of a young star, to be able to put him over the edge. And I definitely feel like he still has that kind of power.
Okay, and keys to victory for these two teams. Astralis, it's probably more. There's more clarity on their side, isn't there? So what about Gambit? They've got to do what to win this game? Does it involve 5 different factors to do this?
I think for Gambit, they need to take risks, right? They need to be aggressive. They can't just expect to outplay Astralis at their own game. They need to try and disrupt them. You look at the ways Astralis has been losing games in the last 6 months or throughout 2017. It was to VP, who would be very, very aggressive against them, who would get into that plow mode. It was against FaZe, who has amazing individual players, and just through sheer individual skill they were kind of forced their will upon Astralis, and it's SK who has a combination of both. So that's a very, very narrow club, very tight group of teams that were able to take down Astralis. Gambit doesn't have anything on the same level as those teams do, so that's why they need to have a game of their lives. They need to overperform basically in this best of 3 in order to be able to upset Astralis, because when you look at the maps even, there is not a clear pick here for Gambit, even though they have a deep map pool, but there's not a clear map where you can say, yes, this is where they have an advantage over Astralis. There are maps that they can play against Astralis, but again, there's a clear advantage for the Danes in this veto.
Zeus has been here before with Na'Vi. He's been in the semi-finals. He's been the final twice as well. He'll know all about this kind of matchup and strategically how to get the team ready. So what is he doing for them? What is he telling them? How is he getting them to play here?
I mean, the veto should have been done already in their heads as of yesterday, right? Right after their game versus Fnatic, they're like, okay, who are we going to play? Then let's look at it. and then have a clear plan coming into this, because there should be no gambles here whatsoever coming from Gambit's side. You know Astralis is not going to play Cobblestone versus you, which is the one pick that I would have said, yes, go for with Cobblestone. You don't really have that now, so you just have a really, really clear picture on like how you want to play this team and just stick by it. And as for Astralis, like Janko was saying, Gambit, they have to take gambles. For Astralis, they should just play their own game. There should not be anything that just, you are the better team here.
And it really is amazing to see how Astralis, you alluded to it a little bit, you know, 2 years ago, known to be chokers, right? Would always get to like top 4 or even into the finals and then just couldn't close out, couldn't win the tournaments, even though you would think they have all the ingredients on paper. So to see the trip that they made now to being probably the most composed team out there. Yesterday in that game against SK, when things were going rough for them on cash, they take a breather, they double eco, and then were able to salvage that first half, and it was just enough for them to win cash.
All right, Victor's underway. As you can see, they're going to steam through these, actually. Astralis have banned Cobble. Gambit remove Mirage. Astralis therefore pick Overpass.
And this is where Astralis has the advantage, right? They have a clear veto. For Gambit, they don't really play either Mirage or Overpass. Mirage seems to be their permaban. They go for that, and that's a clear pick for Astralis. Maybe they felt like they could have gone for Nuke, perhaps, if they want to play that map, but they are regarded as the world's best team on Overpass, so a no-brainer for them eventually. For Gambit, it would have been between Train and Inferno. I think those were the two picks they could have went for, and maybe Inferno is the choice because they saw them play against SK, saw them play it a couple of times, and then also you maybe don't want to pick Train because Astralis gets to start on the CT side. Maybe that's not what you want to go for.
That's how it's panned out. So they've got Train as a third if they need it.
And Nuke is a clear veto in the second phase for Gambit, a map that they've played a couple of times, but not really, I think, on the level of Astralis. And I think actually Gambit is going to be satisfied with the last map being Train, because as I said, training in to go in terms of their pick, and they get both in the series. So you do feel like if they can get to Train, there is a chance potentially, but I think Overpass is very strange because Gambit was undefeated on this map for a long time, and then for some reason they just stopped playing it. It was in the pool, they wouldn't pick it, they would ban it themselves in the second phase, so I don't know what's going on there, but that's a deceptively maybe weak map for Gambit.
I feel like it used to be the same way for Astralis when they had Kerrigan actually on the roster, where it's like they were really going to train, they would never pick it. It's like if they pick it against us, then we'll play it, but we're not gonna pick it ourselves, which is super surprising for Gambit. Like here, I think that this veto is definitely in Astralis' favor. I think that Gambit is going to be very happy with the Overpass first pick, but you can clearly see here as well the Inferno pick. For me at least, that's just like, hey, we played good on it versus Mousesports in the groups, and then we beat Fnatic on it as well, and we also can see that Astralis are beatable on it, since SK had their run in the group stages on it, right? Well, granted, Colsera dropped 35, but you know, they're beatable.
As long as someone doesn't drop 35.
That's 35 kills,
which Adrenaline is capable
to Janko's point, where it's like they have to play aggressive, they have to go, you know, they have to have all their players show up, especially Moa. I mean, for me there, for that Inferno game, Adren didn't really show up yesterday versus Fnatic, but Dosha did. There's like, can we activate Adren here on that Inferno game? Do we have a solid game plan with that? And just stick Mo to the solid points and just the choke points.
The problem is on Overpass, it's very, very difficult against Astralis on the CT side to pull off early aggression, right? So you need to go for mid-round aggression. Once they start rolling out with their default, checking spots, you need to try and find where the weak link is, pop flash, maybe it's trying to push Zipex out, who is outside Monster when they're more focused towards like bathrooms and long A. Maybe it's trying to be aggressive with like 2 players towards long A, but it has to be mid-round. Early on, they're so good at that defensive playstyle. We saw how SK got punished multiple times yesterday for that early aggression, and that's the most difficult way to play CT side. That's if you can perfect that, then you can really be the master of the CT side. So it's going to be very tough for Gambit, but I mean, they need to try it at least, because if you just take a step back and let Astralis do their own thing, they're going to choke you out.
Yeah. That's a good way to finish. Thank you very much to Janko and Fifth Lauer for their expert analysis before this matchup. Let's bring in our commentary team and say good afternoon to 2 men who I'm sure are absolutely loving life in the Toron Arena right now. It is James and DDK. Good afternoon, gents.
Good afternoon. Very much looking forward to this one. This is, I think, the biggest test maybe for Gambit of their career, this team at Majors and other things. It's a very big test for them.
It is indeed.
I like the set of maps. How are you feeling about it, Dan?
Yeah, this will be very exciting, isn't it? I think Gambit are actually really stepping up their game to do this stage and its audience and its event justice. And
obviously, you know, to win, you've got to be the best. You know, well, you have to be all the best teams, and essentially, Astralis, you know, holding that title. There's nothing more motivating than playing the guys with the title and being the underdog, and they've got nothing to lose right now. This is amazing. It's perfect for Gambit. I'm so excited for them.
Yeah, you seem excited, Dan. Have you got your shorts on?
Unfortunately, I don't. I don't actually, but I have some in my bag, so I will we'll switch those out soon.
All right, yeah. Just don't let the crowd see. There's a few people watching, mate.
Nice, yeah. I love those caster intros. We should just play it every 5 minutes. Or
they're glorious. They're glorious. Enjoy it, gents, and take us into the first game.
Thank you very much, Paul. Overpass will be the first game between these two teams. And I mean, what do you think? Obviously, I think Gambit have to be the underdogs, but maybe this is a tournament where they show us what their ceiling is, if there is one.
It's always really difficult for me when it comes to any team facing Astralis on Overpass, because I feel like Astralis play it so smart. They're such a good team in taking minimal risks and understanding when to take the right risks, understanding how to pressure a team really heavily, and then sort of trick them into making mistakes. And Astralis has an amazing game plan, both on the CT and the T side. So it's going to, of course, require a lot of great individual performances from Gambit, and we've been seeing that as well. You know, Doja's been having an amazing tournament so far. You know, yesterday he was looking fantastic. Mo was also really, really good, and you're going to really look to Mo on a map like this, which really features, you know, your main AWPer. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the Mo and device dynamics here. And I really actually think that Gambit, despite what how much I just bigged up Astralis there and how good they are on Overpass, I really feel like Gambit does have a solid chance here. There he is.
For those of you on Go TV, with Gambit starting on the CT side, definitely worth having a look at Mo. And for the Astralis side, Device is a pretty good pick on this map in particular. So I'm going to go with the snipers for both sides, Mo and Device. Any additions for you, Dan?
It's really difficult, actually, but if I was to pick somebody different, at least for Astralis, I might be leaning towards Kirby, actually, potentially. Depends on how the CT side goes, because I do really like Kirby's rifling and how he gets pushed in there. They'll have players flashing him into certain situations, pushing that fountain. He can really be very key sometimes in the early rounds. So I'll probably go for Kirby, but I think you can really go with anyone. At this point in the tournament, James, pretty much everybody is worth a goosey gander, as you would say in the UK. And as far as the starts here, are you having a preference as far as which side you want to see Gambit start on? What do you think is going to be the easier side for them against Astralis?
Well, they will be starting on the CT side, so what is the easiest one? I think the CT side probably will. I was going to add that when Astralis make it to the CT side, I think Zipex is a good person to watch in terms of how to defend the B-bomb site. He's always really good with that, and his team offer him great support as well. So that will be very interesting going into the second half. I think the first half will be key. Again, Gambit, I think it's simple to say that it's going to be their toughest test yet, and it will be a very hard-fought series if they are to proceed beyond this point. And again, there may be the odd rumors swirling about players such as Zeus and whether he will be moving around. Perhaps it's dependent on how they perform in this tournament. So maybe there's a lot more riding on this for Gambit than we think about.
I think this is actually a really good start for Gambit potentially, because I fear the CT side of Astralis the most. So I think this has actually worked out quite well for them. And yesterday they were winning every pistol round, James, against Fnatic. They won every pistol round. I wonder if that trend will continue.
We will soon find out, because the game is about to begin. The pistol rounds, the first semi-final here at the PGL Major in Poland. Gambit will be defending versus Astralis, who have something else to defend, and that is the championship. They come into this match carrying the gold. We have the Astralis camp, the fan base in front of us here.
Looks like a fast one here from the Astralis lads as they make their way into the sewers, and we can see the bomb also should be making its way through Monster soon. Just a few grenades to go in first before we see the swell of the Danish players reaching that B bomb site. And already Glaive taking down Doja, making life quite uncomfortable here for Gambit. And they'll be okay with this, though it's quite a retakeable bomb site, but the bomb is down and the pressure is now on the Gambit side.
Hobbit starting to move forward. No CTs in a flanking position. Again, Alston comes down to the headshots. Adren off to a good start. Two-man advantage now. Hobbit's putting in work. Another headshot for him. 2 kills in fact for Adren. And Adren will finish off the 3rd kill. 3 kills in total for Gambit. A much-needed pistol round. Again, they've shown us that they've been good at winning these pistols. And it continues.
I wonder what their overall pistol stats are actually like in this tournament. It's pretty uncanny, isn't it? And such a great way to start against the Astralis side. But again, they did get the bomb down, did Astralis, so they'll be looking to likely get the AKs in and onto the 3rd round, which is definitely a good look on Overpass. But it is a team too, is Astralis, where I could definitely expect that maybe they have a special round in store for when you get that bomb down, but you lose it, and you have the extra $800 in every player, so you can get funky sometimes. But looks like they're going to go with a standard approach, get the full save in, and wait until those 3rd round AKs come out. And Gambit, of course, they're just going to be looking to just make the money here. That's as simple as it is, and Adren will start things off well.
Gambit going to be controlling things in that connector area, more or less, leaving Kiabi alone carrying the bomb, and Hobbit will smoke him out. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. That is beautiful, almost as beautiful as the man himself. Great support here, not just for the Polish teams. 2-0 to Gambit. Astralis bringing out the AKs now. Reasonable level of utility as well. That said, only 3 smoke grenades, and that might be key depending on what they choose to do. 2 UMPs on the Gambit side. Adren going for a forward play, but forced back from flashbangs.
Yeah, just taking this one pretty easy so far indeed, our Gambit falling all the way back, giving Astralis a lot of respect in the early days. And the other thing too is that Gambit will realize that there's not much utility in a round like this where Astralis are going to get all the AK-47s, and as we can see, Astralis, they've got a bunch of smokes left, but they don't really have enough utility to clear all of these spots safely, so they're going to have to take risks, and you can see that they are approaching this really smart. They're playing together so they can trade, and that's all they've got really going for themselves in this situation where you can't flash around all the corners and so on. So Astralis looking to make an explosive play towards A, but there's 3 players here for Gambit.
Zeus being the bait, and Mo is ready. But this is a situation that teams have seen before. We'll see how much Device commits to this. Device, a well-studied man of players and teams in Counter-Strike. May have seen his conversations have fallen from the previous match. Adren with a flashbang there, and there's the base play working out long. That's a nice grenade from Zeus as well, but there are more Astralis players coming, and one by one they'll fall. Bomb headed towards A. Dozier defending B on his own. Rest of Gambit ready to defend. Will the communication be there that Zeus was here previously? Zeus, if you're off angle, the smoke might help him. The bomb is down now, running out of bullets, I think, trying to reload. Dupree's alone, a question of damage now for Dupree. 1 versus 3. Can't get the spray onto either of these players, and it'll be Zeus to finally finish him off. 4 players surviving for Gambit as they move forward.
So the slow approach works a treat for Gambit in that round, and once again Astralis going to be struggling with the pistols here, and it gets a bit scary, just having Gambit's economy grow and grow and grow. So Astralis will be a bit worried about that, but it's now going to be about thinking on those AWPs and when the utility really comes in as we get into that 5th round. So it's very early days for Astralis, but this is definitely the start that we need to see out of Gambit. Again, this is such a strong map for Astralis that they really need the good starts and the momentum first.
Only 2 people have kills on the Astralis team at the moment, but it's still early days. No need for concern just yet. Dozier and Hobbit in aggressive positions towards B. Hobbit doesn't want to overextend. He's got nobody covering him. Does not need to peek through short B tunnel in a round such as this. No need to give anything away. Astralis definitely don't want to give anything to them for free.
seen, you know, crazy Deagle plays out of the likes of Dupree as well in the past on this map, and generally all Astralis players very capable of such things. So Gambit very happy indeed to, again, just keep everybody alive. They aren't losing any players. This is kind of scary at the moment. Astralis, though, they will get the AKs into the round, and we've got loads of utility to back those up as well. Not opting to go for any sort of no armor plays, so it's going to be what I would imagine should be a dynamic round where we get Astralis taking a lot of map control, playing out a very solid default, using their utility to clear out all these spaces, push the Gambit defense back, and maybe set themselves up for a set piece later on into the round. We'll have to see. Gambit might want to put the pressure on. This would be a good round to do so.
No CTs in the connector position. Zipex is lurking outside B for the moment, and Dupree's position will become important should Zipex want to head towards that short B area. They want to make sure no CTs come through that door and pinch the position. And does have general strength in map control as well. Nobody forward for Gambit. Adren threw a flash earlier, but from the toilets area. Not going for the aggressive peaks just yet that we expect to see from Device in the second half. And Astralis are just slowly emerging forward, almost with a diagonal line through the map. Device now heading to the boulder on long.
Yeah, it's starting to get closer and closer. 50 seconds left here for Astralis, and without a pick, you know, they start being in this position where they need to think, okay, how do we actually get onto a bomb site? How do we open things up? We've got to make a committed play. We've got to extend ourselves into risk. And you can see there are a lot of risks at play here. Dren creeping through the toilets here. He's got a couple players nearby. And there's a very nice frag there. Spots the bomb as well, I believe. So really good info. Dren's not going to stop there. Gets himself number 2 as well. And now Astralis, they need to make huge plays. It's Zipex at B. Can he be the one to bring Astralis back into this round?
Dupree in the short B position as well. Dozier really fighting, but he can't quite get it done. And neither can Hobbit. There's still 3 Ts remaining. 3 CTs remaining as well. Dupree taking some fire damage, but he's still alive. He's got some nice angles, but he's got to be careful. Backing into the flames again. Now he's in the red. That's a lovely second headshot there, leaving Mo alone, waiting for the smoke to go. Dupree must be close enough to hear the scope. If Mo knew that both players were in the red, maybe the pistol comes out, misses Zipex. Time running out for the man. The grenades is going to do the job. Out with the pistol now, Mo. Sees Dupree, and there's the second kill. Has he got time to defuse the bomb, though? It's been quite ticked. Yeah, he's fine. 5 rounds. Gambit keep the clean sheets.
I actually think Mo actually had no idea that he was going to clutch that. He's like, I think he's just like cutting a couple of deagle shots. Wait a second. That guy was actually super low. This is insane. Mo picking up a really important clutch there. But Adren, the guy who's just absolutely murdering Astralis there in this round. 3 really insane AK shots there. We see the first one being so crucial as to get the information. Wins the trade. He knew that was going to be coming his way as soon as he gets that first frag. Reveals his position. And again, that precision from Adren. He looks very on point at the moment. And again, everybody has to be firing on all cylinders here to deal with the likes of Astralis, the title holders.
So we said keep an eye on Mo and Device. Mo 7 for 1. Device is 0 for 5 at the moment. They will need to get him in the game in this first half if they want to pull up a nice score. Maximum loss bonus territory for the Ts. The bomb plant gives them even more money. And there's 5 AKs here for Astralis. Gambit again. Not overextending, trying to be careful. Some warning shots for Zeus. He may not re-pick that for a while. Zeus, Dozier, and Hobbit all around the B bomb site. Putting these smokes down. They've been good at holding onto smokes. 1 minute 10. They've got 3 smokes in the bag after just deploying 1 and a fair few Molotovs as well. So they've got some nice delay tactics for Astralis as they bunch around the B bomb sites.
And I really like this change of approach from Gambit. After having lots of players, like often 3 towards A, they've now got 3 towards B for the first time. And we can see that Astralis, perhaps, still thinking about how the previous setups were working. Maybe they don't have enough information to understand there's been a change yet. They might walk into this 3-man setup, and Gambit seem very, very ready for this. They're really holding a tight a few tight positions here around short and also around the monster tunnel. So Astralis, they can definitely get in there, but they're going to have to hit some really great shots on the entry fragging scenario. And there it is, Hobbit with the spray down. He gets himself two with the help of Dozier. Kirby though with the trades, that's what Astralis need. They're into the B-bomb site now, but it's slow and the rotation is coming.
Zeus really needs to stay alive here. Mo with a god grenade again. 2 on 2. There are 12 seconds for this bomb to get planted. Both CTs on the high ground, which means the bomb plant will be successful. Mo holding an angle, making sure that Shaq. They know where the T's aren't, but do they know where the T's are? Both moving to the short B position. Adren's got to be very careful. That's a very dangerous place to peek from. Moving forward now, no more grenades left for the CT side. They've got to win these duels, and there are off angles being held. The pre-fire from Adren, but how does he get the bomb defused in a situation? Mo with a successful spray there, and it's Adren to peek Kiabi. They both win their duels. 6-0 Gambit.
James, Gambit are actually looking really strong right now. Just when I'm looking at Adren now, I just see this guy. I'm like, this guy's just going to win every duel. That's just how it's going so far. How long can he keep that up against the caliber of players in the Astralis camp? It's kind of insane. A 6-0 start, perfect here for Gambit, able to of course keep a lot of money alive in a lot of situations too, and doing an effective job trading there as Astralis push the B-bomb site. But let's not forget as well that Gambit were expecting that push. They had 3 members on the bomb site. Astralis still were able to take the bomb site, even with those disadvantages. So even though on the rounds it looks bad for them, they've been doing some work in some of these rounds now, just when they get those guns. And we haven't seen really the change of approach just yet from Astralis, where we get the AWP from Device. They play a slower, more pick-based style. We'll see them trying to take down the defense around the A area. It's going to be interesting when we start to see that. Could be this round, in fact, now as Device does pick up an AWP. But again, you know, we haven't seen Mo going super aggressive with the AWP yet, and I know it's coming at some point. I'm just wondering when that's going to be.
Now it might be business as usual for Gambit. Astralis, second round in a row, they've got the bomb down. I mean, these rounds have gone down to the wire, and those late HE grenades have definitely helped Gambit. Made life a lot easier after damage done elsewhere. Again, Gambit starting with 3 people in the B bomb site. And this time, there are forward positions from Gambit towards the long area. Adren playing for support, in support for Mo. And Adren's facing the wall, so if a flashbang comes and flashes Mo, he can spin around and offer a response on the CT side. That's why he's facing the wall here. Hasn't been told off by Zeus.
Astralis make their way close, but there is this aggression we were waiting for from Gambit. Ready to come in, Adren expecting to be flashed by Mo into this position perhaps to get a good peek off. Actually going to round the angle and finds Kirby. Ready for it though as Kirby gets the kill onto Adren. It's a great start here for Astralis. They've got a minute to play with too, so plenty of time. We've got map presence towards B, but forget that. We've got Dupree with the entry. However, Zeus is still holding it down, slowing them down, but maybe not for too long. Now it's a 2 versus 4, and Gambit have a really hard task on their hands.
And they've only committed 1 player to this A bomb site, which is Hobbit. So even 2 versus 4, they split up 1 by 1. And Dozier has not moved an inch. So I don't know what Hobbit's plan is in this situation, because he's maybe looking for some kind of hero play on his own. But as time ticks, surely he will be saving. Is it a question of damage? Maybe it is. And Dozier's just perhaps just didn't agree with the situation. Just being handsome on the B-bomb site as Astralis head towards their first round. They survive with 4 players as well, which is really key in this situation, because there's no one with $1,000 in the bank right now for Astralis. If they win with 1, 2 people alive, then that's a big opportunity for Gambit to compound the problems for Astralis by resetting them in the next round. But they'll have some cash with which to weather a potential storm. 6-1 Gambit.
Astralis doing a great job there just on the defense, and really some of those aggressions to get themselves that good start previously. But again, what's Gambit going to bring to the table? This is a map that allows the CTs to do a lot of funky stuff early in the round, so you've got to really have your wits about you as we see a forward smoke there, and indeed Mo looking for perhaps an aggressive pick there as he is going to be scanning the angles. There you go, Kirby's down. And that's a bad look for Astralis early into the round, but there is plenty of time at the very least to try to right the ship.
It's really important for Gambit not to have a player picked off early. The previous rounds, Adren, he was almost being baited by the footsteps around the party area, was really patient, but Kjabi knows what those footsteps mean as well, and he was able to pick Adren off. If Gambit can avoid losing somebody in the first minute, it'll make life a lot easier going forward. They lead with a man advantage in this round as we hit the minute mark. Minute remaining. Dozier towards the barrel position on B. And this time we've got 2 players in B for Gambit, but Zeus could rotate quickly enough.
A good setup here from Astralis. They've got that positioning towards B ready. They're not going to opt to have any lurkers towards. They're going to use all 4 players to get into this B bomb site. The counter grenades, though, very annoying for Gambit. The rotation's already coming for them as well. They understand what's happening on the map. This is really, really awesome for the Gambit's perspective. Again, just slowing Astralis down, buying themselves time, but the bomb will still be planted and shots can still be taken here. As we've got Dupree looking over the crates there, trying to find these CTs. It's going to look really good for Gambit. The 2 frags from them and just Dupree to defend the bomb against 4. It's going to be a tough one here. Gets himself the first frag. Still more to be had there as the team flash goes in. Dupree could have players coming from all sides, so he's got to be so careful. More grenades as well as the defuse will be pressured. Those counter grenades, James, very, very effective in holding Astralis off. Even though they got the bomb down, it was very tough to hold on to that position.
The plants will allow Astralis to buy once again, but this is very rough territory for Astralis. This is a pick of Astralis. Gambit chose Inferno as the second map. And indeed, Gambit are looking pretty strong. And this is the performance we need to see from Gambit. They need to have a dominating scoreline going into the second half to give themselves the best opportunity to pull away. Mo is 12-4-2 at the moment. Zipex and Device are still both on 1 kill each. So Gambit making this really hard again. Just need to avoid the early pick of Astralis. Zeus in connector. This is somewhat dangerous for him. He's got limited support on the upper ground. See Dupree. It's been a joy to watch Dupree's burst fire in this game so far. Mo's been picked off towards the toilet position by Device. So there's that early pick. Now let's see if Astralis can capitalize on it, if they can convert this into a round.
And Device might be able to get another one as well. We've got some interest here from Gambit in trying to find him. And he's going to be rattling off another op shot. So he's sort of given his position away in the sense that he's providing that presence towards A, which will likely keep Gambit towards B here. But that's a beautiful position from Hobbit there, looking in onto the rotation device. They now know that the AWPer did rotate here, and if that wasn't enough, we've got Glaive there with the Tech 9 running rampant on that B bomb site. Hobbit trying to survive in the water position, but it's not going to be good enough. It's a 2-player retake here for Gambit.
This is not looking easy for them. How much do they commit to this? Doesn't look like much. Sees Zeus look at his teammate, probably saying, let's get the hell out of Dodge. Astralis, a very key round for them to win. And again, a situation where they've got mere hundreds in the bank. They look to survive with 4 players. They've done some good damage to the Gambit economy, so Gambit try to hold on to what they have as well. Very big round for Astralis to win. And the comeback is most certainly on. And again, if you look at the CT rounds, the last 3 rounds the CTs have won, all by defuse. So Astralis, they keep getting to this point. They can just change a few situations here and there. Maybe consistent success will come their way. Lots of opportunity for this half to be close, despite how it looks at the moment. And the AWP will continue for Device, being dropped by Izabex in this round. 7-2, and you'll see the shortcomings in the buy from Gambit, who've just gone for a tactical timeout. I've seen a Nova on the map, Dan. There is a Nova. Somewhere.
It's there, James. We can only hope that someone picks it up, gets into that connected position. We don't see enough Novas these days. I feel like it's decreased, maybe because of the UMP prevalence. You see less love for the Nova. I know you're a man that's a fan of
I love
the shotgun.
Some shotguns, yeah. I own a Nova. But we see some auto shotgun now. Yeah. Fer will often pull out the auto shotty. Makes me happy inside.
And again, this is such a fun map, I think, for teams to play at a professional level, just because there's so much opportunity to do stuff on the CT side, which you can't say for all maps. A map like Train, it can be a bit more awkward. A map like Cobblestone, very awkward as well. But Overpass, you can get as aggressive as the Ts. You can take as much impact in the early round with your pressure as the Ts could on in any conventional map here. And this is what might be happening here. We've got a Dren just in the smoke there. This could be quite interesting. Motor support, and also another player there in A long. Hobbit looking to get in, and Dren's going to go through with the flashbang. A little bit mistimed perhaps, but Hobbit's there to pick up the pieces as he goes for the spray. But what is this? Glaive getting himself the frag regardless, but there's the Nova, James. Big Popper Pump makes an appearance there in Connector.
Yeah, but they're still in a less than ideal situation. Mo making life easier, but Kirby will look for him towards the long area. Mo's not at the advantage with a peak like that, but he makes it work. Gambit, perhaps they have an ace up their sleeve. Device and Zipex on opposite ends of the map. Device looking for an opening, moving around the boulder, and Dozier will give it to him, down to the 2-1-2. They have no idea where Zipex is. He could be flanking them from CT spawn for all they know. And the CTs, they've given up the bomb because they know their positions could be compromised.
And you've got 50 seconds, Astralis. There's plenty of time to work out what you want to go for. It's a difficult situation for Gambit too, and you can see they've decided, okay, let's just play this safe. We don't have the information. Let's stay together. It's going to be harder to retake A. Let's just hold there for now. Play good rotations and allow Astralis to work the map. There's not too much else they can do from this point, and Astralis might be cutting it a bit close on the time, but they should be okay here as they make their way through. Actually, are they going to go towards B here? Indeed, going down Connector through the door. Gambit do have a man on the site though. Zeus is quite weak, and Mo is looking in. Looks like they have the sound cue. And Mo looks for the cross, hits the first shot. Device's head is sent somewhere very far away, but Zipex will still get the trade and the bomb down.
Oh, Zeus down from the nade. He was the critical player in that situation, and now Mo is at a distinct disadvantage. Looking the wrong way in the smoke, but he still lands the kill. Gambit, that is absurd. 4K for Mo, absolutely destroying Astralis in that round. They started with a Nova. They started with a round 16 to 3 is Mo.
Unreal, isn't it? This crazy situation. 8-2, it's a really solid scoreline here for Gambit on their CT side. And again, for me, it's all about how well Gambit can play on their CT side, just because of how scary Astralis' CT side is. And now we can see Mo in the replay working that AWP here, working those angles. His flicks, his precision is just so on point. These shots are incredible. Mo, I think at this tournament, has shown that he is absolutely world class, a world beater is this player, and this is one of the reasons Gambit is so far. But we can see now, as we go into the next round, already taking fast information, and they might discover now that indeed Astralis are moving towards Suez and B.
So again, Gambit are continuing with a forward pace and more aggression. But I think they're playing into the hands of Astralis by doing this. And if you look at Glaive's position right now, he is just waiting for a push to come in from Connector. He sees Zeus, he's hungry for it. He is salivating for a flank, but Astralis almost with a read that Gambit will eventually overextend. So what does Zeus do in this situation now? Seems the Ts will make their way down into the Connector position, but there are kills coming elsewhere, and indeed they're all getting picked off with this aggression. This is what I worry about for Gambit. The early picks for Astralis. They've only got 2 rounds right now, but there's still opportunity for a reasonable score for the T side, and this would break the money of the CTs, I'm pretty sure. 2 versus 5, 3 unanswered frags for Astralis.
I think Mo, in seeing that player at A-Long, is thinking, okay, it really feels like seeing a player A-Long when there's 5 alive, there's only 2 of us left, probably indicated to him that there would be a play towards A, but you can see Astralis, they just held their positions, they're not really making any moves, they're looking for any further indications of pushes from Gambit. Astralis trying to play this really safe, even in the 5 versus 2, trying to avoid any risks here, trying to play perfect counter-strike, and you can see they're just jumping across here. Mo can't quite find a pick-off. Ooh, getting a bit crazy there with the wallbang attempt. Won't work out for him, and it won't work out for Hobbit either, taking one in the face courtesy of Kirby. Device finds Mo as well, steals away his AWP. If he wants another one of those, he'll have to purchase one again, and the money is not good enough to do that. Astralis have actually finally got there. They've broken this insane amount of money that we saw from Gambit previously.
Yeah, I think Gambit maybe trying to change the pace, change the approach before they get figured out, but Astralis were just waiting for them to do that, and it pays off in absolute spades. Nothing left for Gambit. Finally, the AWP has been taken away from Mo, and Astralis will look to fill his death column. That is a lovely swipe from Device, a confident swipe. Again, 8-7 is still possible, and I think at this point, that would be a bad score for Gambit, considering what was possible. Time will tell. Important duck there from Kiabi. That could have been fatal.
Yeah, I was afraid there. That looked like a team kill in the making for sure. And I like how decisive this round has been from Astralis. You know, sometimes teams trying to play it a bit too safe. They don't decisively get themselves onto a bomb site, but that's exactly what we see from Astralis. And nothing is going to in an untoward manner here so far. So Device just trying to seek out the remainder of Gambit, and he'll be successful. Just Mo remains with that deagle of his lurking around the A-long area. So it might be a while till he sees any action, and perhaps he won't see any action at all. Still no bomb down from Astralis. Again, you can see how they're trying to play this incredibly safe, literally just taking no risk whatsoever here, not rushing anything. They've got time, they're going to use it.
Mo sitting in the long area with his deagle.
Contemplating life, perhaps.
Indeed.
It's a nice area to do that. It's lots of nice trees and so on. I think there's a picnic spread there as well.
So this is, I think this is a pretty bad spot for Gambit. Not just because they don't have any money right now, but I feel like Astralis are in a good position to just run them over for the remainder of the round, especially like if Gambit are short of money and they choose to compensate for that by being overly aggressive, then I think that will play into the strengths of Astralis. When Gambit were being passive, you saw Dupree on short